I've hit the liver. It's a liver.
Hey, can I ask you to psychologically diagnose a type of person for me?
Retard.
That's what we are here for. We've got
Okay.
the credentials.
So
Gay
I've
retard.
been yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Kino Casino this week, especially because they just keep dunking on the quartering, and sometimes they dunk on him a little unfairly. I'd say it's far be it from me to defend the quartering, but it is kind of funny to watch. Anyway, I'm watching it and I'm listening to like Warski, and he'll like scream every time somebody gives him subs, because that's the thing on Kick is you give them subs. They're like, "Let's go! We got 50 subs!" And then they're screaming about 200. So like this one dude gave them 200 subs within the span of like 8 minutes, and I was like, "How much does a sub cost?" And I looked it up. They're $5 a piece. That's $1,000 to give somebody 200 subs. And I'm like, who does that? And it's like the lowest number you'll usually see is like 5 or 10 subs. And even that is like 5 subs, that's $25. And they usually don't even come with a comment. And the ones that do come with a comment is like, Jeremy looks like he took his weekly shower yesterday or something like that. And it's like, who spends that much money on this shit? Like, I've sent a couple super chats in my life, and it's usually to people I don't like, because that's the only way to get them to read my comment.
Yeah. That's the only time I've ever done it.
Like, are these people just rich? Or are they just gay retards? Like,
I don't know. People just sit there. Yeah, they dump them into Timcast all night long, and like 200, 300. Sometimes they're trying to advertise something, obviously, and just get it on the thing. But
Mormon Stories is a 501c3. So are super chats tax deductible as charitable donations?
Yes, 100% yes.
Okay, that's fraud. that is fraud. That is tax.
It's therapeutic news. Therapeutic news is tax deductible 501c3. That's how that works.
I was thinking
Riesel says there's a new apostle. I saw that too.
Yeah. Would you believe it's a white guy?
I actually kind of thought it might have been one of the black guys this time, but nope.
Oh, man.
So, what were you about to say before that?
Because it's something I've been thinking about a lot this week. Because you know how well, in the last little while, I've been kind of dipping back into the world of ex-Jehovah's Witness land. And I watched a couple of, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses doing reviews of all of the witnesses' failed end-of-the-world prophecies. And it got me thinking about, because we mentioned before, we have lived through so many climate Armageddons and environmentalism Armageddons. And I had this thought, when was the last time you heard anybody mention peak oil? Remember peak oil?
Oh, yeah, that's been a minute.
Hey, hang on. I don't even know what peak oil is. Is that just
you never heard of that?
Peak oil?
Is that just when we totally run out of?
Yeah, you must. No, it's when we're on the downturn of.
Yeah, but that peak oil, we've passed it, and it was supposed to once you hit peak oil, it was supposed to lead to financial devastation and economic collapse and mass starvation, and this is all stuff that I remember from 25, 30 years ago. That. Yeah, peak oil.
Do you remember the Dennis Quaid?
Fine.
Remember the Dennis Quaid movie, Day After Tomorrow?
I only know the South Park parody of it.
Well, so I remember watching that as a kid, and I'm watching it with my family, and my parents were like, "What do you think of this movie?" And I'm like, "It's a cool little disaster movie, It's they're escaping disaster. You like it, Dad?" My dad says, "It's fucking gay," because I was a kid. I didn't know what was going on, but he's seen some shit. He's lived through all the Al Gore predictions by then.
I'm not kidding. I remember my 4th grade teacher. I remember she told us that the Amazon rainforest would be gone by the year 2000.
Oh, I remember that too. Well, not 2000, but
on the other ones, the whales.
Oh yeah,
we're supposed to be all out of whales by now. According to Star Trek 4, we're done. And the whales seem to be okay. I don't know. Maybe it's because of all the righteous, faithful people that saved the whales.
It's,
But yeah,
it's-
no, like, but I was just thinking about that because I remember there was a time that peak oil was a major topic, and nobody talks about it anymore. They've moved on. And I was thinking about this because of this thing about like Jehovah's Witnesses, where like, one of the things is that for almost 100 years, like 80 years, because they predicted the end of the war, end of the world in 1914. And then they came up with this thing of like, oh, well, Jesus came back in 1914, and the generation of people who were old enough to form memories and understand things were the last generation. And so, people that were like 12 years old or older in 1914, the world would end before the last one of them died. And then, like, more and more time went on, and like they got to the point where it's like, okay, well, they're all gone. And then like they shifted to like, well, no, generation means those guys and their kids.
obviously.
And that's going past. And so now they're like, well, generation could mean anything up to 200 years. And like the thing is, like, the witnesses actually offer more of an explanation of like why there's still a planet than the people who predicted the end of the rainforest. Like they haven't come around and said like, oh, here's why we were wrong. And like I remember when that was going on, like in the mid 90s, like I don't know, like 1994. And I talked to my cousin-in-law who had just immigrated to the United States to take our jobs. He's got a fancy government job with his multiple degrees. But I told him, I said, like, what about the rainforest deforestation? He's like, let me tell you a story. In the 1960s and 70s, the Brazilian government did this enormous investment to try to build a major freeway through the rainforest. And they had to give up on it because every time they built a mile of freeway, they'd build the next mile. And when they were done with the second mile, the first mile was overgrown. And like they literally gave up building the freeway because they couldn't stop the rainforest from growing over it. And like, and I was like, oh, I guess that makes sense, And like, yeah, and that's all there is to it. It's like, yeah, they do go clear a section of rainforest out, and then the rainforest grows back as soon as they leave. Like, that's fine.
Risto's getting brave to go to a J-Dub meeting.
They sound even more boringer than Mormons.
I think they sound even more pressureful than Mormons, but I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Their
I don't know.
missionaries are more boring.
So I was just talking yesterday. One of my kids' friends in England was raised by witnesses, and his family, like he talks about how sometimes he gets in arguments with his parents because they are still super duper duper witnessy, And I'm like, well, they haven't shunned you, and he's like, well, I wasn't baptized because that's the other thing. Is like normally in witness land, you don't get baptized until you're like 18, and it's like whenever you feel ready, and that's a way bigger deal, I guess, for them. Like in Mormons, it's like almost perfunctory, but for them, it's like this huge thing. And so, like, if you weren't baptized, then they can't technically shun you. But even then, it sounds like they're easing way up on the shunning thing.
Do you ever remember? Actually, yeah, Morgan was big into an ex-J-Dub YouTuber, like I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, and he had mentioned that
Evan guy that says instead of says, and says
no, I don't think so. It's
he's like an English guy living in Czech Republic.
Oh no, this guy's like he's an American artist guy, but no, he said they really lightened up on the shunning stuff, but.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing about the guy that I was just talking about, the English guy who says, was that, because like he's one of the premier XJW YouTubers that popped up like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. And a few years back, there was an enormous scandal because information leaked that he cheated on his wife. And it's just like, yep, that tracks. Like that seems to be the thing is like, leave your religion, deconstruct your religion, start a YouTube channel, make it your career, be a finger-wagging moralist about how immoral the JWs are, and then get caught in a sex scandal. Like, yep, that's how that goes.
I don't know. I've been told that it's religious people that are always the sex pests.
That's what I'm reliably told.
And religion always covers for them. In fact, I listened to a very convincing ex-Mormon former bishop who was just talking about how shitty it is that he went to tell the church hotline about abuse and they told him not to report it.
Um, Boiler.
Boiler.
Reese to ask which missionaries are the least boring.
Which
I don't know.
missionary?
I'd say J-dubs are the most boring.
When we were missionaries, we used to get in fights with the J-dubs, and it was just straight arguing about the way Christ was hung.
Yeah, it was either a cross or a torture stake.
They said it was either some of them said it was like a straight pole and his hands was above his
Yeah,
head.
that's their thing. It's like it's not a
they
cross.
call it the torture stake. I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
Although apparently, I was just listening to what's his
Steve
bucket?
says Grok says Mormons are the most boring. What is Grok? No.
Grok's a J-dub. But I was just listening to Bart Ehrman, and Bart Ehrman was talking about how like there are no contemporary historical accounts of how exactly crucifixion happened, and like they don't really know if it was on a cross or on a stick or both or either or anything else. Like apparently, like we know crucifixions happen, but like nobody ever wrote down the steps. Like so,
I get it, but that's such a dumb hill to die on.
They would die on it too. We would go and go and go.
I know.
The witness shibboleths. There's so many weird witness shibboleths because first off, they call it being in the truth. When you're a witness,
if you ask them if you're a Jehovah's Witness, they'll either say we're in the truth or yes, we are one of Jehovah's Witnesses. And
also, like instead of worldly, they say this system of things. Like when you talk about the wicked world, it's the system of things. The other weird one, like, and it just sounds so strange, is they don't say youth or elderly. They say young ones and old ones. But they don't say children. They don't talk about like, what the children's like the young ones. When we're ministering to young ones, it's just it's really strange.
Just go full Star Wars and call them younglings.
Yeah, the younglings.
Yeah, in Mexico City, I didn't get the Bible bash much. There wasn't like any Christians around to do it, and that was the most we ever got to do. And one time, I was with my Louisiana missionary buddy, and we were arguing with one of them in their house, and the one with the tattoo of it on his back of the
facsimile.
Yeah. We were sitting there talking or something. He just got so frustrated. We were just sitting there. I'm sitting on the couch. He just stands up and marches out the front door and just like leaves. Just left me sitting there staring at the guy. And never had that happen before. But that says this new apostle.
Dude, he's 55. I was thinking that felt young, but then I looked up like I don't know, Anderson. He was the last apostle called before I left, and he's 74 now, which would have put him at like 60 or 59.
And I guess that's young for the rest of his life because I mean, he was 30 when he became the president of Deseret News.
Oh shit! Didn't know that.
President of BYU Idaho, 2015. He's 45 at that time.
The youngest apostle. Guess how young the youngest apostle was?
Well, you're going back way in the day.
Yeah.
Didn't Brigham Young like make his kid one? Like
John W. Young ordained an apostle at 11 years old.
11. But I know Thomas S. Monson was like 35, wasn't he?
Thomas S. Monson was very young. He was like a mission president, like right out of the military, I think.
So this is nuts because Risto asks if the Bible specifies cross. And I looked it up and Grok was like, yep, sure does. And then I'm like, well, what's the Greek word? And the Greek word is stauros. And apparently, like the basic meaning is an upright stake. Like, but
so the Jehovah's Witnesses are right.
But like a lot of words, it can have different usages depending on context.
So the Mormons are right.
Be a cross. Yeah.
I don't think any of us can decide on this word until we get
the etymological dictionary says that, like, for definitions of stauros, 1, an upright stake, especially a pointed one, references Homer, Herodotus, Thucydides, Xenophon, and 2, a cross, the well-known instrument of most cruel and ignominious punishment borrowed by the Greeks and Romans from the Phoenicians. So nobody knows. The answer is nobody knows.
Well,
I think the Jehovah's Witnesses have this idea that if they convince you of one of their weird things, you'll just immediately be convinced of all of them. Because like if you said that to a Jehovah's Witness, like you were entirely convinced, be like, actually, I think you're right. It might be a steak. And I'm like, all right, I guess you're one of us now.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Give me one of those carts full of pamphlets. I'll go stand in front of the courthouse.
It also means, by the way, since it's a steak, that means I'm never going to get a blood transfusion, and Halloween can fuck off.
So wait, so the Steak and Steak Center, because that was.
Oh my God, you're going apologist right
Hebrew.
now.
It should be cross center this whole time.
Well, no, because that would have been from the Hebrew. But that's the thing, though, is the Greeks
change it to CrossFit Center. Every time we don't call it the CrossFit Center, it's a victory for Satan.
Steak Fit Center.
Steak Fit. It should have been Steak Fit this whole time. I'll go argue with the Jehovah's Witness. It's not CrossFit. It's Steak Fit. Here's a podcast going on right now, sniping us. It's probably what's killing our numbers. Cut them in half. We don't have a full poker table here. Everybody's probably over there listening to these guys talk about Dallin H. Oaks mentioned podcasts. So it's the biggest deal in the world. Victory for all the Satans. And
did you see my name? I'm taunting the church. I'm baiting them.
What did you say? Where?
Mormon trademark. That's his name.
I'm Mormon with the trademark logo.
Oh, nice. Oh, you're gonna get us sued. But yeah, that all came out too because they think that's a victory that they're going after John for the name of Mormon and all that sorts of stuff, but they're bringing it up. But these guys went into big, long detail about the church can't silo off truth tellers. You can't silo off truth tellers. Can you, John Deline? You just can't silo them off.
Before we're completely off of it, I know we're off of it, but before we're all the way off of it, the Wikipedia article on crucifixion cross shape. In the Roman Empire, the gibbet, instrument of execution for crucifixions, took many shapes. Seneca the Younger states, I see a cross there, not just of one kind, but in many different ways. Some have their victims with the head down to the ground. Some impale their private parts. Others stretch out their arms on the gibbet. And then at times, the gibbet was a simple vertical stake, called in Latin crux simplex. Frequently, however, there was a cross piece attached to the top to give the shape of a capital T, crux commissa, or just below the top, as in the form most familiar in Christian symbolism, crux emissa. The most ancient image of a Roman crucifixion depicts an individual on a capital T-shaped cross. It is a graffito found in a taberna in Puteoli. Writers in the 2nd century speak of the execution. Christ described the crucified person's arms outstretched, not attached to a single stake. Lucian speaks of Prometheus as crucified above the ravine with his hands outstretched. And then it goes on. New Testament, here we go. New Testament writings about the crucifixion of Jesus do not specify the shape of that cross, but subsequent early writings liken it to a letter capital T. According to William Barclay, because tau is shaped exactly like the crux commissa and represented the number 300, wherever the fathers came across the number 300 in the Old Testament, they took it to be a mystical prefiguring of the cross of Christ. So, yeah, the answer is still nobody knows.
Well, man, that was psychotically boring for me, but Dan McClellan sure does numbers off that shit.
So I found ChatGPT. I'm asking it the youngest apostle called since the 80s, right? So, it's ChatGPT for what it's worth. And it says that the youngest since the 80s, well, no, the youngest was second youngest was David A. Bednar. He was 52 when he was called in 2004. And he was the youngest since Dallin H. Oaks, who was called at 1984 at age 51.
Oh.
So yeah, I think this guy's relatively young.
Oops, I left last week's Divas Wipe with the wrong title on it. This was supposed to be the Bo Euler title, but since you mentioned that, I decided I'd jump right to that. And my stupid thumbnail today, just to always explain my terribly made, horrible thumbnails, that I thought he looks like Lisa Simpson with a mustache. So
holy shit. Is that natural or do you perm that, buddy? I am so jealous.
So
and he's ready to just slide right into gay porn.
The Mormons jumped up on it.
Oh, gross. You had to say slide in. Fuck you.
Didn't we cover the soft white underbelly of this one? I think we talked about it and looked at it.
Yeah, we did.
You want to know what irritates me the most? All you lefties. We'll talk about it with the Bad Bunny stuff too. The way that your whole world is some sort of mega rich rich person making like all your generalized points for you. Like I'm like, why is this doink? Who's this doink? And why am I listening to him on Software Underbelly? Why was he chosen? You look it up. Oh, Mr. Beast Money Manager. That's why we hear from this dude. You know, like I don't need to hear from some rando to use the term.
That's
But
who
why are
Euler
we
is?
hearing from that's who this is.
Oh, he's Mr. Beast's money manager?
Mr. Beast, marketing manager. Sorry, I didn't say
Marketing manager.
Yeah.
I was gonna say his money manager has to be an Epstein connected Jew.
It not only is an Epstein connected thing, Mike Benz has gone into great detail about it, about how Obama's previous USAID director is now the money manager of Mr. Beast, and all that whale building that he's doing in Africa. They're diverting all sorts of, it's one of their roundabouts for USAID to send all those sorts of money. And he's actually doing soft power shit all over Africa. And that's something that the ex-Mormons could jump on as they talk about Mr. Beast linking up with the Mormons with their little sharing machines. I guess Mr. Beast is helping them do those share machines. Remember the
Oh yeah,
the vending machine share machines?
the live, laugh, love machines.
Yeah. And there's all sorts of weird, shady connections with Mr. Beast. But that's why we get to hear from this guy. This guy's like, anytime like somebody just out of nowhere I've never even really heard of is suddenly being featured on some highly expensive paid whatever sort of thing like this. I'm like, who's this? Who is this and why this? Like who, why, who, you know? And then of course you look it up. Oh, big dumb tech money. All in a Lisa Simpson package. Let's see here. This is Luke Hansen jumping on it. Gave out the report. Ward Radio did a whole episode on it, saying, "Boom, we got them. They're liars, patents on fires." Do we need to repeat the whole story here? Is everybody listening to us know the whole story of what this guy claimed? There's Starbase popping in.
Spark Notes. He was a bishop. Kid was molested. He called the church hotline to report it. Church told him, "No, don't report it. We like it when children are raped." And then he blew the whistle on Soft White Underbelly and on John Dolin and on RFM and on John Dolin and then also on John Dolin. Then they come out with this. Do you want me to read it or?
Sure. I guess he has the points, but I think the church gave the same points, but I don't know if they're exactly the same.
Yeah, so this is what they said. Luke basically summed it up, but it goes, what the video claims. The video, Mr. Euler asserts the following. He contacted the church abuse helpline and spoke only with attorneys. He was told he had no responsibility to take action as he was not a mandatory reporter and the church loves rape. No one asked about the safety of the child or the family circumstances. In fact, they were super glad that the child was hurt. The helpline exists to protect the church rather than the victims. In fact, it exists to ensure more rape. What the records show. Helpline records from August 2013 directly contradict this narrative. Mr. Euler contacted the helpline 3 times over a 3-day period and spoke with both an attorney and a licensed social worker. At the time of the initial call, helpline personnel understood that a therapist had already reported the abuse to civil authorities. The social worker discussed steps to support the victim and family. In a final call the same week, Mr. Euler confirmed that the therapist had reported the abuse and that the offender had subsequently self-reported. Helpline personnel also communicated with the stake president to ensure appropriate follow-up. No concerns about the matter was handled. About how the matter was handled were raised with the church at the time. The first indication of dissatisfaction came more than 13 years later through the recent social media video. So yeah, if that's all true, then that's some pretty fucky shit there, Mr. Lisa Simpson.
Yeah, so the ex-Mormons, of course, skipped over any implications of all that and just jumped to, well, how come the church hasn't given us other records in other cases? And I think you can see that happen here. Stacker jumps on it. Stacker, the the ever-watching eye of
Lukewarmity.
The ever-watching eye of lukewarm takes, but puts in Grok. Did the LDS Church testify in the AZ court case that they kept no records? Yes, in the Arizona child sex abuse case involving Paul Adams, LDS Church officials testified via affidavits that notes from abuse hotline calls are destroyed daily. Family Services Director Roger Van Coonen stated those notes are destroyed by the end of day every day. This was to maintain confidentiality.
Well, in Stacker's defense, that's kind of fishy.
It's fishy, except in the very article itself, it has more detail. And I never saw RFM getting in this, but in the very original article where it was talking about this, it says those are like the daily notes and things that get escalated up to a lawyer are not destroyed, and they keep it.
Oh,
So it's just like saying like the daily. I don't know what that means, but where is it? That was described as a church practice with those call records, especially ones referred to the church, were considered confident. Okay, the same reporting states that serious reports of abuse, especially ones referred to Salt Lake City attorneys, were considered confidential under attorney-client privilege. So those records were kept as privileged communications. So what was this, or what was the Paul Adams case, or what were they dodging? I mean, this one would obviously be one that was kept for 13 years, and it says right in the article.
Well, Blue Meanie is saying that that's referring to the day books. So I don't know, maybe that's a different.
The notes are the day books, right? So that's the stuff that they get rid of. But maybe there's just something tossed out with the Paul Adams. I don't know what they're doing. I tried to look at like what the result of the Paul Adams situation is. I don't even think it's finalized. The dude, they said that they did report to a bishop that he was abusing his kids continually, and supposedly the bishop called and they said you could get sued if you report it in Arizona, which wasn't true. Which maybe that happened, and maybe there was an error made by a lawyer or something. I looked it up in one of these things. They had at any given time they have 160 different possible lawyers on this helpline. So that's kind of one of the things, like you go, well, the church just loves rape or something like that, or it comes from the top, all that sorts of stuff. It's like, nah, in managerial processes, there's all sorts of screw ups, especially with like lawyers and people taking things. I mean, it could have just been a screw up, who knows what. And then afterwards, in the hindsight, those lawyers have to take caution to try to protect themselves for whatever screw up happened, if it was a screw up. But RFM and Colby and other lawyers think that this makes them to be shown as liars because they didn't present it in these other cases. No commentary on all, except for if the church lies, maybe they're lying about Bo Euler. But I don't think they'd be lying about that, because they're obviously flexing that they have the goods.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know. I say it a lot, but I feel like I don't say it enough. So I would like to stop for a second just to let everybody know how roundly I condemn rape.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. No, seriously.
Wait. That's a light bulb went off in my
I'm
head.
actually opposed to
you are too
abusing their children. I think it's wrong.
Did you come to this on your own, or just after Jared said it?
Well, it was after
Super Bowl ad.
What's after we deconstruct? Oh, yeah.
Right after the "Be Nice to Jews" was "Don't Rape the Kids."
Did you see that Rabbi Shmuley response to that?
No.
That fucking idiot Rabbi Shmuley. He's gonna make me anti-Semitic. I'm not even kidding. I'm gonna hate the Jews if I watch any more of him, because he's like, well, how come after the fucking anti-Semitic fucking don't be anti-Semitic commercial, they had to air a toilet ad? And he plays it, and sure enough, like
he was mad about that.
He was mad about that. What does it mean, huh? It's like they're trying to give us a kick in the tuchus right after they fucking show us how you shouldn't be anti-Semitic. It's just a kick right in the gashnugana. Because right after that ad, it was an ad for a toilet, and the first thing you see is just a toilet opening, but it's a really nice toilet, and it doesn't say "fuck the Jews" on it, so like I don't think it's anti-Semitic.
It wasn't a kosher toilet.
Kevin says, if disliking rape is cool, consider me Miles Davis.
Whoa, he showed us.
We hate rape. Like, seriously. It's in this day and age, that's a thing you gotta say.
Well, I learned today that marginalized people have been egregiously what was the word?
Holy fuck.
Wait, didn't we we got rid of the 19th Amendment today, didn't we?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No, we're done.
Is that what you're talking about, the race? We don't let them vote anymore?
I think he's talking about the thing Morgan sent.
No, I was talking about But also, yeah, were we going to talk about that? I even forgot about that.
I think so. We got to watch.
69 million women can't vote because of this law.
Flip just spurging out about the math.
There's
No,
so
like,
much.
That's one of those things where it's like, okay, like
Oh, it's an obvious
right
lie.
now. If you ask me right
We're
now, like,
literally in
how much was the
1939
Toyota Corolla?
Germany, you guys. First, we got to let's let the Jew hate thing go. Well, he walks up. I can speed it up. Oh, there you go. Walker.
Not funny.
They should have had the guts to make a movie and everything.
I don't want to sound bad, but I'm going to speed up this Jew hate. That sounds hilarious.
An accelerationist here.
Do not listen to that.
Speed up the Jew hate. Listen.
Thank you, man. I know how it feels.
No,
Richard
you don't.
Goebbels was never like, oh man, I could double speed the Jew hate.
Nah. You're not worth it, bro.
They didn't even have the balls to write the word kike on there. Come on. Like, it's like writing an anti-racist thing, and the sticky note on the black kid's backpack is like, "You're black."
That's the
Your
guy.
skin is darker than mine.
That's the dude protecting the Jews. That's how that works right there against Whitey, I guess, because Whitey's real dangerous to do. As they're walking around there, he's like, do you have any music that I could copyright? Are you a SoundCloud rapper?
Do you remember the movie Black Sheep?
Yeah.
So it was on just the other day, and I forgot. There's this part that was supposed to be a funny part because, right, for anyone that doesn't know, it's a Chris Farley, David Spade movie. Chris Farley's brother is running for senator or whatever. He's a politician. Chris Farley's a black sheep of the family. He keeps fucking up things for his brother's campaign because he is just a party boy. Anyway, he gets drunk. He goes up onto this like Black Panther stage and ends up like saying things like "kill Whitey" because he just wants the crowd to like him. And they like him. And I think it's been a while since I've seen it, but if I remember correctly, he ends up on his brother's campaign and he's given this inspirational speech, and his brother's super stoked. Oh, this just turned out better than I thought. He's actually hyping the crowd at this campaign event. And then he ends it with, "and kill Whitey." And it was like shocking to everyone. And I was like, oh, that's hilarious, because if you made that movie in 2026, you'd have to like, you'd have to change it a little bit, because like they'd be like, what's the joke? Yeah, I don't understand. It just sounds like an AOC rally. What are we? Oh, they don't like it when you say, okay, yeah, you should have done a real race.
Genocide is bad, okay?
Am I moving right or am I frozen?
No, you're good.
Okay, because stuff was getting digitized on me there. But I don't know what much else to say on the Bo Euler thing. But ex-Mormons, you guys always say that you'll call out your own and you'll correct yourself when you're correct. I'm guessing it's probably pretty true that Bo Euler told a tall tale to sound better for the soft white underbelly thing and create his narrative. And all through the process, you're saying church probably lies. How about, take a page out of your all's own book and say, shouldn't lie like that. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help your own cause if you're making up tall tale stories.
Has he said anything since this came out?
Not that I've seen. But I mean, I guess a long-standing thing we pointed out here is if you're at all honest about stuff, there's plenty of Exmo stories you hear. And if you're an honest person and not just a teen cheerleader, you should hear a ton of them and go, yeah, maybe. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Maybe. I don't think so.
Like, I don't doubt that the church does everything they can within reason to protect themselves. But I don't believe that they are that callous about child sex abuse. I don't think that's at all believable.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could see a business doing some pretty shady shit to get themselves out of that. Like, when he told the story, I wasn't immediately knee-jerk suspicious. I was like, maybe. I don't know. But like, lawyers do shitty things. That's what they're supposed to do. But I don't know. He needs to come out and say something. I want to hear it.
Well, I mean, you could point at lawyers as much as anything like you point at a church, because if you spend any time around lawyers, you find out really quick that they start looking at risk aversion over doing the right thing, even though we're told from certain people that they
What?
have an epistemology that just always demands they do the right thing. But no, lawyers are pretty constantly saying, how do we protect everybody in this situation? And some lawyer probably didn't have ChatGPT yet and looked up the mandatory reporting laws wrong in Arizona or something like that, and said, "Oh, maybe don't report," if that's what happened in that Paul Adams case.
I mean, I have to believe they probably got like a flipped book. I'm sure that there's like just the series of like I can't think of the word. There's a walkthrough. Okay, step 1, where are you? And they go to the card. Next step.
Well, this is my belief. If you can stop and look at stuff neutrally, they probably screwed up in that Paul Adams case. Yes, and that's why they're coy with it. There's some sort of screw up. It might not have been a purposeful screw up. You don't know until you actually look at the stuff, but there was probably a screw up in there. And then in the Bo Euler case, I'm guessing he's probably telling a tall tale that it's as they said. The guy was already, under investigation from police officers, but who knows? But they said, though, maybe they could get discovery. That'd be cool. They should get discovery on all these cases. I mean, I'm all for going and doing the suing and get discovery, and let's see what all actually happened in the situation. But I don't believe, just as you said, it doesn't come from the top of like, no matter what, don't report on the. I mean, that's a straw man, of course, obviously, but just. There, I believe that all the way to the top, there is worry and caring about kids beyond just saving a church or like the church's reputation in a certain situation. There's Mr. Croissant Boucher, and we got Starbase, and we got Blue Meanie, and we got Kevin. We got a poker table. We got a poker table going. Anyway, moving on from the Bo Euler. Because I mean, I do hope we get discovery. It'd be awesome to see what happened and didn't happen and all this stuff. My dad was a bishop in high school, and I know that he had a situation. He had to do that. And way back then, if there was a hotline or not, I don't know. But I know that he had, got cops involved, and so don't know how that happened. Maybe he broke Hinckley's rules. No, brothers and sisters, do not save those children from those sex pits. I demand in this dispensation that we have more child rape underneath the temples, because I am into that. This is actually being claimed currently by Tim Ballard. I'm not making that up. Tim Ballard is saying that there is ritualistic sex rape under the temples, and that Utah We Are Change Channel, whatever, brought on a lady who said she was impregnated 7 times under the LDS church, and they would take the babies and sacrifice them.
Have Tim Ballard and Candace Owens started a podcast
together? She started mentioning Tim Ballard a whole lot. She did.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, and she was mentioning that she agreed with him on his beliefs of naughty sex abuse, ritualistic, crazy stuff, because she also believes, the thing of like the Mormons created the hippie movement. And I heard somebody saying that it was like some Mormons
created hippies.
Yeah, don't you know? Yeah, the Mormons, the Mormon Mafia was like in charge of like all the Mormon Mafia was in charge of like all the Laurel Canyon talent and all that stuff, and kind of pushed them all into being shitty because that made general Christians look worse.
It's like, okay, if Mormons created hippies, then explain Donny Osmond. Those things,
because the Mormons are supposed to look like the good ones, like the hippies were created to look like the bad ones, and then it was supposed to be cast on plain white Christians that they made it look bad because they're big fat dum-dums. And also it was a Mormon Mafia guy who raped Britney Spears. Put Britney Spears in the oh man, it just goes and goes. Put Britney Spears in the industry, and even Courtney Love talks about the Mormon Mafia and all that sort of stuff. And why am I talking about this? This was all devised by me, Gordon B. Hinckley. I was into this, and I told Chris Hanna's father to not report baby rape, and he went against my wishes, but he got no soft white underbelly. So
Not to wax all Cardin on us, but let's talk about the Jewish mafia, huh?
yeah. Women can't vote now. I guess we repealed the 19th.
This is
No, okay, but
unfathomably
69
retarded.
million. Like, I like.
Such a patriarchal number. Of course, they're going to make us think of a phallic.
Oh, that too. But I just mean
Could've
like
said
if
67
somebody asked
million.
me, if somebody asked me right now, what's the curb weight of a Toyota Corolla? I'd be like, I don't know, like 2,000 pounds. But if somebody was like, a Toyota Corolla weighs 100 tons, I'd be like, I know that's wrong. I know that's wrong. And if you tell me that a law that says that you have to prove your citizenship means that 69 million women won't be able to vote, I know that's wrong. I know that number is wrong. But the National Organization for Women posted exactly that and said 69 million women will lose the right to vote because of this bill. It's like,
Well,
no fucking way.
So you lit up the chat about this, and I was like, yeah, what? You were like, where did they get the number from? Where the hell did they get that number from? And I was like, let's see how many married.
Is it all married women?
Yeah, it is. No, I looked it up.
It's all married women.
It's more than
No, I looked it up.
more.
And, well, so but that was in 2023. So in 2023, they said there were approximately 62 million married couples. But I guess honestly, that didn't account for gay couples, although they'd be fairly negligible in that number. So in 2023, there was 62 million roughly married couples, and we're 3 years removed from that.
Well,
so
that's couples. So
maybe
half of them would be women. Like if that's all.
Yeah, but it'd be the same amount of women as there are couples.
Oh, couples. That's
Yeah,
not the total married people. Okay, I see.
No, it's married couples.
Yeah.
So, or at least that's the way I asked the question. So it's 69 million married women right now, roughly. Maybe I couldn't find any numbers from the current year to verify that, but it was close-ish in 2023. And so I was like, you're talking about literally every single, like, what if she hasn't had a chance in the past 25 years to go update her driver's license? Well, then she doesn't get to vote. I don't care.
No, like, I mean, even Adam Carolla was yelling about this, where it's like, okay, the number of, if you don't have an ID, you can't do anything. Like, what are the chances that somebody who is so off the grid that they don't even have an ID even wants to vote? Like, if you have the wherewithal to even want to vote, I have to believe that you know how to get an ID. And like, I know the homeless have IDs because I used to sell them cheap vodka. They've got IDs. It's one of the only things that they always have is a fucking ID because they need one to buy booze in Utah.
They're on top of that shit.
Absolutely.
Troy says maybe they're going from the idea that they'll have to present their birth certificate.
Well, okay, if they do that, then I'll be the first to say that's retarded. Just do a driver's license. That's the idea we all already have. Like, all of us already have it. Like, how many black people
like, if you
have you ever met that don't have a driver's license or an ID of some kind?
Yeah, no, exactly. But that's the thing, like I asked in our chat, is like as a serious question, like, first off, what percentage of people have no ID?
Well,
and of that percentage of people, how many of them wish they could vote but can't because they don't have an ID and don't, like, the whole list of things that you have to put together? They don't have an ID, they have no means of getting one, but also they really want to make sure that Kamala Harris wins.
Well, and
like,
so how many jobs have you applied for that haven't asked to see your ID?
Yeah,
like zero. So if you don't have an ID, that means you've never had a fucking job, which means I don't want you voting.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing Carolla was saying. It's like, should you even vote if you are that far disconnected from reality?
No, I don't want everyone voting.
You see, this says voting rights groups have said that's a big disclaimer there. The other thing is too, this whole thing's probably not going to pass the Senate anyway. But voting rights groups have said the bill would pose a barrier for millions of American women and others who have changed their legal names because of marriage assimilation.
Of course they call
The
it.
Save America Act requires voters to provide documents proving their citizenship at the time of registration. Many otherwise eligible citizens do not have access to the required documents, such as an expired passport. Birth certificates are also one of the few options to prove a registrant's identity. But they often, so it's just the same stuff that you have to present when you get a job. A W-2, W-4, and
You have to present
an
it.
I-9.
You have to present it to get a job. You got to present it to go to a bar. You got to present it to buy cigarettes.
Fly on an airplane.
Yeah, fly on an airplane. In fact, my ID right now currently wouldn't work to fly on an airplane. I got to go get the special star card because I
If
don't
you
have
want
that
to
yet.
rent a hotel room, even a motel room.
Yeah, there's so many things you have to have an ID for that are so much less important than an ID than voting. I would rather like blanket stop carding people for buying cigarettes than I would not card people for ID for voting.
I'm sure that's going to be just like an I-9, so a social security card would count like as well, because it's just like proving that you're a legal citizen, the same thing that you'd approve on an I-9.
I don't know. What if you get like a what if you get like a Somalian with a birth certificate that's like Janice Wentworth or some shit like that? I don't know, buddy. Are you really Janice Wentworth? That is name in my country. That is common male name in my country. I don't know that it is.
I am from Venezuela. My name is Mandil Pajit.
Listen, Mr. Somalian, I'm terribly sorry, but you Somalian people have a very peculiar look.
That's something.
It's kind of easy to tell where you're from, even amongst other black people.
It's already obnoxious that, I mean, like for example, the other day, I put in an order for a new keyboard at Best Buy, and then there was like a weird hiccup with the order because it was like a pickup. I did it online and it was a pickup. There's a weird hiccup, so I tried to call the store, talk to somebody in fucking India. Like that's already obnoxious enough, but don't tell me your name is Sally. You're not George. You're not Peter. You're not Herbert. Like
no, we did that at the call center I worked at for Capital One. My entire department was just to scam people into opting in to allowing their card to go over their credit limit so we could fine them. It was evil. It's the only job I've ever gotten fired from. I was actually very proud to get fired from that job. It was call avoidance. I couldn't. I was very bad at that job. But anyway, if they had any actual customer service complaints, this was the most hilarious part. I'm trained in customer service. I could do whatever they want. I could check their interest rate. I could see if there was any options to lower their interest rate or to increase their credit limit or whatever. But I wasn't allowed to do any of that shit. I had to transfer them to customer service because they wanted me to be free to scam them into this bullshit. So I would be like, oh, I got to transfer you for that question. So I would get on the line and I would transfer them to someone. And literally every time it was, hello, thank you for calling Capital One. My name is Purple. No, it's not Pajit, but like I got a guy who wants to know if he can increase his credit limit. Okay, thank you very much. Like it was always stuff like it was Purple or Diamond, or sometimes it was normal American names like Frank or John. Hello, my name is Jonathan. It's
like,
not.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Don't fuck around. But also, like that's the other thing is I was driving me nuts with that one. It's like, okay, like the answer to my question involves a human being in the store going and using their eyes to look at the thing.
I know.
And I know you can't do that. Can you just patch me through the store? No. Like, god damn it.
Here it is. By the way, I now have Super Grok and Super Chat GPT because I read a thing about you got to try them. They're so much better. Your mind's going to be blown. And so far, my mind's not blown. It's not that it's not blown by AI, but it just seems like the unpaid version. So I'm dropping $50 a month now on it.
Do something porny on Chat GPT. You can do that now.
Hey,
that's good to write you.
Can I do it on Grok? Grok is one getting threatened by Europe that they want to try to cancel all of X because you can put some known women in a bikini on the images or something like that.
I'm surprised they didn't already think of that.
It just popped into my head a classic Simpsons era joke when they're throwing things into the bottomless pit. It's like, the mobsters throw a corpse in there, but then the guy walks up and goes, "I was crazy to think that anybody would want nude photos of B. Arthur."
No, it was Whoopi Goldberg.
Was it Whoopi Goldberg?
I swear to God. So
Is there different versions of that?
I don't know.
I
didn't hear the first part. Was it where Bart throws something into the bottomless pit?
Maybe it was Whoopi Goldberg.
So the one I saw, is that what you were talking about?
I
Bart
think
throws
so, but
something
then
into
where
the
did
bottomless pit and the
somebody
guy,
else made a joke about B. Arthur.
I don't know. I remember. Bart throws
I think you're
something
right,
into
actually.
the bottomless pit. Another guy comes out with a big box like, I was a fool to think anybody wanted nude pictures of Whoopi Goldberg.
Maybe
And
it
he
was
throws it to the bottomless pit and it spits it out.
Yeah, it comes backwards.
Maybe
No,
you're
that's
right,
one-
though. I don't remember.
No, I see now. I don't know. This is a Mandela effect thing. Did I completely
I
misremember?
don't know.
that
I've
joke?
been telling people that story with Whoopi Goldberg for like 2 decades. So I could be totally wrong.
I don't. Well, they both work. Like as far as jokes go, they're both.
So it
Although
looks like
Ted Danson was married to Whoopi Goldberg. Remember
yeah,
that?
that's so weird. That is so weird.
Wow, that's insane.
That's
He
the
was,
thing that happened in life,
I didn't know that he was a good-looking guy back in the day.
even for the not.
Did you know? And I heard this on some YouTube thing this week that Whoopi, all of her time on Star Trek was just volunteered. It was freebie.
Really?
Yeah, because she just
Wait.
wanted to be on Star Trek, supposedly.
Really?
Yeah, she wanted she wanted to pay it back for the first thing to put black women on television.
I mean, gee, I wonder. That still seems weird. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, they had the money.
Yeah,
I mean,
or
like,
if
well,
they
I
wouldn't,
also
like,
kind
at
of
least
wonder, like,
pay her
'cause-
the minimum thing, and they didn't believe that it was actually her calling and offering it. And then LeVar Burton said, "Nope, it's for sure her. She wants to do
had the
it."
black guy do it, so it was more believable.
Yeah.
I know, like,
it
the
looks
thing
like this
is-
bill's just not very clear, but it's just basically about the same thing that you use to get a job anywhere. And then it also says, we'll provide other stuff as all the other bills. Like they say that you build it while you're flying the plane, like we're still doing with the Affordable Care Act. Obama just finished all that shit this last week, and it's still bullshit and sucks. But
Like, are you kidding me? In order to vote, I have to do the same thing I'd have to do to get a job.
remember that
Yeah,
thing?
jackass. I think if you have 3 DUIs, you shouldn't be allowed to vote either. Well, that would fuck over Republicans quite a bit.
You remember that time Nancy Pelosi said, "You got to vote for the bill to start finding out what's in there."
Buy the mystery. Choose the mystery box.
Yeah, that's how we found out everything that doesn't work about the Affordable Care Act.
So here's a funny Whoopi Goldberg moment that I don't know. It was a clip I saw. I don't know if this happened during Biden or if it was recent. And maybe it happened during Biden and I totally missed it. But she was talking about Jill Biden and how like he could have nominated her as Attorney General, Dr. Jill Biden, because she is a great doctor, a fantastic doctor. And then one of her co-hosts was like, "Well, she's not that kind of doctor, like a PhD, or not a medical."
Like, yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I guess I would. But you're just extolling. She's such a good doctor.
just assumes must be.
I've got a bunch of stuff on I don't know, trans issues and women issues, marriage issue. I was going to discuss it over on Mormon Stories, where it's a free and open space to discuss open ideas and not a silo at all. But I decided to just go ahead and do it here on this podcast. I mean, I could have done it over there, where it's it's just basically blood sports and kill stream, and you can talk about stuff. They don't silo people off and block things that are controversial or true, because I'm just regurgitating everything I was just listening to on a podcast about the little guys standing up to the great big silo.
Yeah, Dylan, we've been pretty soft on you lately, but
Yeah, we should get to the good stuff, 'cause I'm gonna have to bail early today.
still, Dylan, come on, you pussy.
Jonathan did a few beautiful troubles kind of over there. He kind of bombarded them in the last day or so. We only hear about this from third parties who show it to us, because none of us are over there, because it's a free and open space to discuss true ideas. So let's discuss these true ideas here. We would do it there, but we just felt like doing it here because it's just too free over there. Free and open. Canadian reports person announces police persons have identified gun person. The Canadian News literally said, or the police officers, it's a gun person. We're looking for a gun person. Do you hear that Carney, the new it's a funny name for he's a carney. We got a Canadian Carney is the prime minister, whatever they call him over there. He said they're going to fly the trans flag at half mast.
Wait, what? What?
Not only
No
said
way.
they're doing it. Yeah.
What? What? That would be stupid in any circumstance. That would be fucking dumb. But this isn't just dumb, it's insensitive.
Yeah.
That's coming from me.
Well,
Holy
Yeah,
fuck.
you know what I worry about? I worry about that if a trans kid went and shot up an entire school, what would they say about his pronouns?
Oh, yes.
Let me see if I can find the image of it.
Jesus Christ.
Trans
Holy
flag at half
fuck.
mast. Half mast trans flag. Yeah. Why did the gun do this? The gun.
Gun's such.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that this is going to immediately mandate laws about being nicer to and following all trans. We need a law about making sure you're nicer to trans kids and making sure you do all their pronouns, or you go to jail. And we need to get rid of guns. I mean, that's what the government's got to do, right?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
the only option.
And that's what Australia did a couple months ago.
So I have it on good authority as well. I was just listening to this therapist, top-notch therapist, doctor therapist, doctor level therapist. You heard of those things? Well, yeah, doctor. John DeLynn. He was talking about the church is so stupid. Don't they even understand the basics of psychology? That if you talk about things like porn over and over and over and over again, and you present it to people over and over and over and over again, it becomes like a pink elephant. Like you can't help but think about the pink elephant in the room, and just all we're going to think about is navel gaze on those issues, and it makes the porn more prevalent. That being said, we need to talk more about trans issues because there's a lot of trans suicide being caused by the Mormon church out there. And they were mentioning that again tonight, which I have some stats and data, not on the Mormon church particularly, but they have some stuff from some psychology magazines that is completely debunked. It's just no different than any sort of average population, the suicides of people who have different types of, I guess you'd call them comorbidities. Are those comorbidities of psychiatric issues? Is that the word you'd use for that? That's kind of more of a physical thing, but
No, it's like one of those things that you know, like Scott Adams, you don't need the research to know that, like,
there it is right there.
the trans person that doesn't
cut
have other obvious psychological mental issues doesn't exist. Like the otherwise completely mentally healthy person that just happens to be trans. Like, no, there is no such person.
Can you read the bottom of that, or is it cut off?
Hang on, let me.
In highlighted in yellow there.
No, that's too blurry.
Oh, that's way too small.
However, when updated level, that's worse.
When specialist level psychiatric, this is from BMJ Mental Health, Child and Adolescent Mental Health.
It's from the United Order of Transphobes.
All cause and suicide mortalities among adolescents and young adults who contacted Specialized Gender Identity Services in Finland 1996 to 2019, a register study. However, when specialist level psychiatric treatment was controlled for, neither all cause nor suicide mortality differed between the two groups. HR for all cause mortality among gender referred adolescents was the numbers. For suicide mortality was 1.8. Conclusions: critical gender dysphoria does not appear to be predictive of all causes nor suicide mortality when psychiatric treatment history is accounted for. But that doesn't account for Mormonism. They didn't put Mormonism into their study, though. Anyway, what do you guys all think about a trans shooter?
Flip already solved it.
What's that?
It's bullshit.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's okay. Find me a
It's never
trans.
going away, right?
Okay, this
Like-
isn't like an
no,
official
I don't think
diagnosis.
it's going away.
this isn't an official diagnosis, right? But find me a trans person on Twitter who doesn't have several fucking at least self-diagnosed mental illnesses in their bio. Like, can you find me a trans person without, at the very least, ADHD? You can't. And that's just the like. Find me a trans person on Twitter whose bio doesn't say BPD or CPTSD.
Yeah, like no, like people are really proud. Like I mean, I've made the thing before that like it used to be that people are like, "What's your sign?" Now it's "What's your diagnosis?" You know, and like because it's part of that wound collecting thing. In fact, it just popped into my memory out of the blue is one of my favorite bands, Cub. But they've got a song that like the first lyric is "Wear your bruises like new tattoos." Which is like that's like how I feel about a lot of the internet mental health people. Where like they are showing off their injuries, their like mental wounds. It's like, why are you doing that? That's creepy and fucked up.
That's
like,
it. That's the only interesting part about me. That's my personality. Like
yeah.
It's a defense. Like secondarily, it's a defense mechanism against any pushback that I will receive about anything, right? Anytime I'm expected to fulfill any type of social obligation, I'm so sorry I couldn't come because I have relationship OCD, and it makes me freak out anytime I feel like somebody's getting close. But primarily, it's a badge of honor. It's like hey, like this is my quirk. I'm doing this well despite, which I guess is also a defense. Like like I still hold down a job even though I have all of this stacked up against me. And also tertiarily, probably a little bit of a distancing yourself from the oppressor class because it's mostly white people who do it.
EU Parliament votes to accept a report that calls for the full recognition of trans women as part of the EU priorities for UN CSW. But more interesting, I saw this post underneath the thing right there of Camille Paglia talking about civilization in decline.
Yes. There's been, I mean, would you agree that there's been just a massive proliferation of legitimate cultural identities that are out there? And is that a good thing or a bad thing? What's driving that move forward?
Well, at first I was very excited about the ethnic identity movement because I feel very Italian American, and I've always been in revolt against the WASP style that dominated academia when I first. Leslie Fiedler himself was a victim of this. I mean, Harold Bloom was, and I mean, there weren't even any Jews hired in the Yale English department until like the mid-1950s, and there were quotas on Jewish students admitted to Harvard. I mean, all things like that. But over time, okay, what's happened? I think that gender identity has become really almost fascist. Okay, and it's to me a very shrunken, miniaturized way of perceiving your position in the world and in the universe. Okay, there was a time when these fine gradations of gender identity. Okay, I'm a male trans doing this with that going movement. This is a symptom of decadence. I'm sorry, as sexual personing talks about this. That was in fact the inspiration of sexual personing was that my overview of history and my noticing that in late phases you all of a sudden get a proliferation of homosexuality, of sadomasochism, of gender games and impersonations and masks and so on. So I think we're in a late phase. We're in a late phase.
So that the proliferation of cultural identities, the proliferations of all sorts of possibilities is actually a sign that we're
on the verge of collapse. Yes, Western culture is in decline. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Okay, in my view, okay, looking at the history of Egypt,
it's something that Victor Davis Hanson talks a lot too. Anybody who's kind of into the antiquity stuff notices that there's time frames where, I mean, you get rich enough, you can just start navel gazing. And you can just start navel gazing, and then you can just do podcasts about being an ex-Mormon and discovering yourself and cheating on your spouse and then cutting off your wiener.
Yeah, today we learned that monogamy is 3.5 million years old.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Well, I guess I have that in the slides here. But let me zippity zip through them. Let's zippity zip through them. Let's see. This stuff was driving me crazy because it's like language switched a little bit because in Canada it used to be that they stayed kind of good about the gender usage and they said boy, girl, man, woman. They were using the biological terms up there. They were calling this a female. Lots of different reports calling it a female. Biological male who approximately 6 years ago began to transition to female, which we always knew that they were going to start moving to that. Sometimes I wonder if it's normies who don't know, but
no, it is.
I mean, that's what made it's literally what made Jordan Peterson famous.
Mm-hmm.
It's normies that don't know for the most part. Like I think the journalists reporting this, and I think the cops trying to correct them when they say male. I think that's normies that don't know. But the gender ideologues have never been solid on this. They're only solid on it when it works all right for their thing. I always point it out, but sex and gender are always separate right up until it doesn't work for the argument. Like if we're trying to talk about changing sex markers on official government documents or medical documents, it suddenly sex and gender are the same exact fucking thing. Like, yeah, I should know. Here's what we do. Here's our compromise. And this is a stupid compromise, and I would never actually go for it, but I'm offering it to you sardonically because I know you're not going to go for it either. What I say is we have gender and sex markers on our passports, right? So we have you, the trans woman, we put gender, woman, sex, male.
Yeah.
So you are a male woman. They're not going to go for that. None of them would go for that. And I talked to my lesbian buddy at work. She was arguing trans shit with me a few months back, and I told her that, and she's like, "No, actually, most of the trans people I know would be totally cool with that." No, they would not, because they don't want to just be women as a different thing. That's just sort of a gateway bullshit ass pull to get them to what they truly want. They want to be female. They want to, if they could press a button to make them totally woman but still male.
Yeah,
they wouldn't press it over the button that they could press to make them 100% female.
And there's always a huge gap between the gender theorists who get their big highfalutin, social constructy, blah, 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 Judith Butler word salads in this stuff. And then the average person who just really has like, no, I have a soul and my soul is the other sex, which Flip always calls them out for being religious and all that sorts of stuff. But, religion's fine as long as it's not Mormonism. And we just saw on Mormon discussions that if DNA doesn't prove the Book of Mormon true, well, we should have followed Native American religion because it's better.
That dude is so retarded. Of course he went on Maven's podcast. Jesus fuck.
Yeah, that was Maven's first return back. I didn't even listen to that one. I listened to him on RFM, and it's a good interview because he's smart on the DNA stuff. But like I said last week, I said, well, he jumps to being Noble Savage, but it's worse than Noble Savage. He jumps to being Native American religious vision tradition is true and real.
I tried listening to him talk to Maven. I got I don't know, a third of the way through it, and I was like, man, I really shouldn't have listened to this drunk. I haven't paid any attention. Then I was like, wait a minute, I haven't drank anything today. I just thought I was drunk because it didn't make any sense.
It made me retarded.
It made me retarded. Yeah.
So it came out this week. I said
Iman Khalif.
I almost said that porn star's name.
Imani. I don't know.
Mia Khalifa. I almost said it. That would have been an embarrassing thing that I know the name of a porn star. How many porn stars names do you know?
Dude, we talked about this at work before. They're naming off porn stars, and I was like, dude, I don't know hardly any porn star names. And oh, shut up! You trying to say you never watched porn? No, I was a disgusting, guilty gooner growing up.
I just didn't look up names.
I never knew their names.
In and out.
I didn't want to know their names. Why would you want to know their name? That humanizes them, and then you realize what you're doing, and that's
I've
disgusting.
only known names if they've had crossover mainstream.
Yeah, Mia Khalifa, bitch. Mia Khalifa, I know her name because she bitched.
He runs around with Hassan Piker.
I want to know their parents' names. I want to know the names of people that are really disappointed in you right now.
I know. Refer to every porn star as their two parents' names.
I know Mia Khalifa's name because she bitched about porn being out there of her. Same with Lana Rhoades. I also know Mia Khalifa's name because she lied about Bang Bros not paying her, and then they showed the receipts. I also know Mia Khalifa's name because she picked up dog shit with her COVID mask and then put it back on.
Oh yeah.
I know Riley Reid's name because I watched an interview with her. Well, she's on that meme, and
she did a podcast with Eric Weinstein once.
Did she?
Yeah.
I just saw her on Adam 22 bitching about how her controlling boyfriend had a rule where she couldn't do gangbangs while they were dating.
What a jerk!
And how and he didn't even want to kiss her when she showed up to work. I was like, I don't know. I could think of a few dozen thick, long reasons why he didn't want to kiss you on the mouth as soon as you got home.
Jenna Jameson, I knew that one, but she went through like a whole marriage and wild thing with Tito Ortiz type stuff.
Oh, Stormy
That was-
Daniels.
Stormy Daniels because of the Trumpy stuff.
Who was the
And
one that
Ron
tried to-
Jeremy. Everybody knows the Ron
Oh
Jeremy.
yeah, I know Ron Jeremy. Who's the one that tried to? There was one that tried to be like MAGA. She went to like a TPUSA.
I know it. Actually, I just heard Chrissy Mayer and
Yeah.
Gavin McInnes were just talking about her. I know it.
She got kicked out of
Brandy
Love.
Brandy Love. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. She got kicked out of a TPUSA event that she went to, and there was a bunch of like right-wing people who are like, we need to invite everyone in. So obviously, right after that, I Google her name, and all it comes up with is stepmom sucks stepson's cock in front of stepsis. And I'm like, oh no, you don't want to welcome everyone in. Like this lady's shooting faux incest porn. Maybe distance yourself a bit.
Well, anyway, this guy admitted outright that he has a Y chromosome and always has Y. Colin Wright made the interesting point about it is that he never lied because under Judith Butler's cisgender ideology, which is all these Dan McClellan word games you can play, went by the sex assigned at birth. What has some sort of syndrome or something that it appears that you have female genitalia at birth, but you don't. Like it's that one that you know it either like is stunted to growth or grows later and that sort of stuff. But full Y chromosome, full male. It's just 100% male, not female at all. Just a little bit of a stunted growth of the penis, but was assigned female at birth. That makes cisgender female.
Do you remember? You've watched Sandlot, right?
Androgen insensitivity syndrome. Troy's on it. What's that?
You've watched Sandlot, right?
Oh yeah.
So the main kid, Benny the Jet Rodriguez, the best player.
Didn't he kill somebody, or one of them killed somebody?
I don't know, but I'm picturing that kid, like not Smalls, but Benny, the Chad in the story. If I had to picture him growing up, it would look exactly like Imani Khalif.
I see that. Yeah, I should have seen that when you were getting at it, but I see it now. Sandlot actor. All the Sandlot was just filmed right up the road from me here.
I know. We tried. Did I tell you we tried to find the Sandlot?
Oh, you did? Yeah, I know back where it is.
We went to Vincent Drugstore and we thought that was cool. We went to a couple places, and then we tried to find the Sandlot, and the place it's there, but it's entirely landlocked. It's a circle that's surrounded by properties, and they got like signs on their lawns like, "Don't go through my fucking yard to get to the Sandlot. Go to this guy's house," and then you go to that guy's house, and it's like, "No, don't do it." And so the Sandlot's back there, but there's just no way to get to it. We circled around it like 8 times looking for something.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody had something. Anyway, the houses that they did the Sandlot in, those houses are up on the East Bench somewhere, kind of close to East High area.
Mhm.
But the Midvale Main Street is still kind of looks the same. It looks the same right there. You can just drive past it real easy. And then the Sandlot thing in the swimming pool are back in over in Midvale over there.
Everything went quiet.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Yeah, we
Okay.
just went quiet.
Listen, New York Magazine, boxer Imani Khalif is a cisgender woman. So why are famed transphobes like J.K. Rowling, J.D. Vance, and Donald Trump attacking her for competing at the Olympics? If you remember, I got into a back and forth a while with Divas about this one because he called Divas, he called Dawkins a defamed bigot in one of his shorts, and I said, "Why? What has Dawkins done that's bigoted?" And I thought he was going to talk about elevator gate or something like that, because I'm like, "What supposedly did Dawkins do?" Just says that. Well, he attacked this guy, called a man.
Well, he went on like
Dawkins pulled off his biology degree and was correct just off the visual.
Well, he went on to, I think it was Kyle Klinsky. I don't remember. Or no, it was David Pakman, and they're talking about sex and gender, and you could see David Pakman's brain just melt because this is one of his heroes, and he's trying to get him to to parrot his stupid ass views, and Dawkins is just like, actually, sex is one of the few things we see in biology that isn't a spectrum at all. It's one of the very few things that is effectively a binary.
And this dumb girl, she just cried because she got beat up by a boy. She cried. And all the people who like come after Riley Gaines and like call her like, why can't you just be a better swimmer and beat the person or whatever? You came in fifth, you lost, bitch. Yeah. This gal cried. What a crybaby loser for losing to a man, but he was a good sport. Like look, right after he beat her, he tapped her on the boob, just slapped her boob better. Like, boom, right in the boobie, right in the like.
Them tits is sensitive. Mine is too, babe. I get it.
Nice fight. Like, nice fight. Yeah. I don't know. It's so ridiculous. But I mean, everybody was bigoted for a while until you find out that, I guess we're still bigoted.
No, I'm still bigoted. Yeah, for sure.
Dang it. I was hoping not. Let me go to the next. Oh, I was going to back up. I think I have more clips on her before we move on to the next thing, which the next thing, if you don't know, this is just a long post. We don't need to read all of it at all. Over on Mormon Stories about becoming an activist for the trans movement because it's important, right? As a mom, a transgender woman who lives and works in Utah, blah, blah, blah. And you know, it's not political yet. It's not political.
It's literally people's lives. It's not political.
Yeah, that's not political, not politics yet. Just important stuff, important info. I'm trying to find. Where did I lose my? I had more clips of the Caliph.
Imam Khalif?
Person, yeah.
Mia Khalifa?
Mia Khalifa.
Yeah, just Google Mia Khalifa clips and put them up.
I almost did that one night on the Twitter there. What was it I was looking up? I was looking up and it like totally put up porn. What was I looking up? I can't even remember. I must have clicked this off. Hold on.
Oh man, I got it bad the other day. I was in bed with Morgan. We were just
it was some sort of like cuckoldry thing, and it pulled that up real fast. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm laying in bed with Morgan. It was just last night. We're watching like a show as I'm trying to go to sleep, and I was playing one of my dumb games. And I've been getting I keep my volume down all the time, but I turned because anytime I play these stupid ass phone games, I start getting different ads. And lately the ads have been all for AI porn. Like chat with AI girls.
Well, Indians, you got Indian guys.
Yeah. And so then as soon as the ad pops up, it just goes, me papi. And Morgan's like, you're just gonna watch porn while we're in bed? It's like, it's an ad, okay, asshole. I'm not.
What's gonna happen when they start getting like using AI to get really, really good at actual scamming, or using AI to do like blackmail scamming? Like, I broke into your thing, and they no longer sound like that. They sound like, oh, there's a problem with your social security card. And said, there's a problem with your social security card.
Pretty open and shut to me, right? She was born a woman, pretty open and shut to me, right? She was born a woman, lives as a woman, and boxes other women. So what is the argument against that?
This is such an outrage. Look at this. This is a man. This is a man who is competing in the boxing tournament for women.
It looks like
No, she's not.
steroids.
She's a woman.
Got her.
This female boxer is female. Can we stop this before America turns into a presidential campaign issue? Pretty open and shut.
Comedy from the Daily Show. Daily Show.
Funny.
Who is that guy, and how is he less funny than Trevor Noah?
Yeah, they used a bunch of like interim people when they were trying to get Jon Stewart back after Trevor Noah left, because Trevor Noah was just too funny. How come when I click on this thing, I lose my? I guess I get what's happening. I've got this list of stuff, and it keeps clicking off of the original list to go to the to the thing instead of. Let's see here. One last one. This doesn't have anything to do with that, but just on the Daily Show subject, this thing came up with Jon Stewart debating with Bill O'Reilly. It was kind of making the rounds this week, and it was the dumbest thing I ever
Hold
heard.
on. Don't go yet. That it says relevant people right there, and it says Megyn Kelly, happily married to Doug, crazy in love with my children, Yates, Yardley, and Thatcher.
Jeez.
What the fuck? Are you inbred British royalty? Yardley, you did that on purpose?
I mean, the only other person I've ever heard named Yardley is the lady who plays Lisa Simpson.
I know.
She's Yardley.
That's weird even for a woman.
And I always thought that was weird.
Maybe she named her after her.
If it's maybe. No.
I don't name her Lisa Simpson.
Yardley. You might as I know that kid. He wears not a Letterman jacket, but like a school sweater with a tie, and he says things like a lot. Yardley, Yates. I mean, Thatcher's the most normal name you have. What the fuck, Megyn Kelly? I guess your name is Megan with a Y, so you're probably brain damaged because of that, but fuck.
Man, I had this link to it, but I'm just not finding it. Yeah, that's a stupid name. Well, I don't know. It can be kind of cool.
They're faggy, is what it is. It's stupid. It's that they're gay. I would like to have 3 gay children. What shall I name them? Yates has an 80% chance of being gay. Yardley, he'll have a 2,000% chance of being gay. And Thatcher, he'll either be gay or he'll be a mountain man. I'm not quite sure.
The next one will be called Fagley.
I'll find out here in a second.
That'd be terrible with a last name like Kelly. What's your name? Fagley Kelly.
I'm Fagley Kelly. I have a big future in porn.
Over the ICE stuff, this woman got arrested. This is the woman that got arrested. ICE agents broke down an apartment building door, and 24 agents went in and arrested a woman that was our neighbor. We're continuing to experience tragedy after tragedy. This is literally the woman.
That poor dainty little thing.
Patriarchy got her good.
So this is the end of that, and so over where it's a free and open place to not comment on it, this long thing about becoming an activist for stuff had an anonymous member say,
well, all you really got to read is the last sentence, because the whole thing is like, I'm a mama dragon. I don't want my kid to go through trans bullshit. But really, all you have to read is the last paragraph. Please DM me if anyone wants help with this, or if John DeLynn might be interested in making a Mormon Story podcast about this. It's urgent and timely, and something needs to be out there. So, if perchance you wanted to give somebody a little bit of attention on Mormon Stories, I could do it. I could be talked into it.
Yeah. And so an anonymous member dared to actually post over there in the non-silo where you're free to express your ideas clearly. But nobody will disagree here except me. I think the church ought to stay out of politics or risk losing its tax exemptions, but I don't care about trans rights as far as oh man, you cannot say that and keep active over in Mormon Stories, man. I don't care about trans rights as far as any different from anyone else's rights to choose who they want. Bigot.
We got.
Of course, I offer this anonymously because the backlash will be significant. No. Free and open place to discuss.
Oh, sorry, buddy, but you're not anonymous to the mods. They can see when they're going to kick you out of the fucking group.
So since it's so free and open, Jonathan decided to start asking them, what about discussing detransitioner stories?
There's literally no such thing.
I like his map of Detransition Island. That was pretty good. I don't know where he got it from.
There's a bigger version of it right there.
Wait. Oh, I didn't even notice. Siren of Simple Solutions. Love Bond. So you're in the Sea of Distress. You start over there in the west in the Sea of Distress. You can either veer off to the Siren of Simple Solutions, but no, you ignore that. You go to the Bay of Expectations, pass through Love Bomb Village, where they're telling you how gorgeous and perfect you are, and how if you don't transition, you're a piece of shit. Trail of fixation. Oh, you're autistic? Of course you're going to fixate. Mount transition. And you navigate through the beautiful meadows of gender euphoria and try to avoid the unexpected consequences, but you got your tits lopped off, so good luck with that. Medical complication mountains. Well, yeah, you've got a vagina now, but the pee shoots upwards, so you're trying to figure out what's wrong with your rerouted urethra. The Valley of Disenchantment through the rocky pathway of trying to dilate every fucking day through the blinding pain. Hindsight Hill, and my God, is that dark that Deja Vu Point is right on a cliff's edge. Jesus Christ. And if you don't jump off Deja Vu Point, you go down into the ravine of regret, the swamp of disappointment, where you're like, oh my God, I'll never be a woman. Walking the lonely road like, I'm a woman. Why won't lesbians suck my dick? And through the forest of self-knowledge, where it's actually pretty, you know? Straight into Self-Compassion Cove, where finally you kind of start being like, okay, you know what? Maybe I should have just liked myself a little bit, into the ocean of self-acceptance. And then you're free. You should have just rerouted yourself around the island, and any navigator on your ship that was even halfway responsible would have told you that. But unfortunately, the navigator was being told by the admiral of the fleet that, well, if you navigate around this terrible looking island, your first mate is going to kill herself. So go through the island.
Yeah. Real quick, before we're all the way off the transitioner, because we're now detransitioning, everybody should take a moment for firearm self-defense safety class with this instructor here.
Active shooter drill! Is the active shooter trans? Did you identify them? MTF or FDM makes a big difference. Reaction time. If they're FDM, they have slower reaction speed. Yep. If they're MTF, you might be in trouble. A lot of work goes into
Oh, I love that. I love the NPR article that first talked about the shooter. It was like the female in a dress gun person has been identified, but the identity will not be released. And like all the comments are like, so that's a tranny, right?
Yeah.
Live stream, like, you don't know that. You don't know, except for every single time. Like, women don't do mass shootings almost ever. I can't think of one. I'm sure there has been, but
The Google shooting was
females,
like the last
if
one
we're-
that made a lot of news.
if we're separating male
Like-
and sex and gender, females don't do mass shootings. So yes,
there
a
was
woman
the-
did this mass shooting, but she was a male, right?
The Memphis, Tennessee was a woman, but she was a trans woman, so she was just being patriarchal, manly when she did it. Like the last straight woman to do a mass shooting was the Google shooter.
There's just dead seriously that you knew by the numbers, right? Like the success, just by the success of it, you're like, that's not true.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing about the
I'm not
Google
even
shooter is that
joking at all.
She didn't kill anybody. She wounded a couple of people.
Yeah.
She got
And she was a different kind of a nutcase. She was a vegan.
Mm-hmm. This is kind of an interesting post by Jonathan because he started out by saying that it's actually part of his lived experience, which he usually avoids talking about. And then, of course, everybody in the commentary says, "Why are you talking about you white man? You have speech, but you made a trans person when you talk to a trans person."
Yeah, lived experience is never an actual thing that they believe in. Yeah, I was surprised. I don't think he's ever divulged that on Mormon Stories before.
Yeah, I don't think he has.
Are you wanting me to read it, or?
Oh no, I've just seen like the whole post. I mean, you can just kind of guess. Generally, sum it all up. That I exist, we exist, they exist is all thing, but this is a thing, and it's a thing that maybe should be talked about in Mormon Stories. Maybe because it's not a silo. It's not a silo. It's not a great big mega. You guys aren't a great big mega corporation that blocks out the small voices of other mega 501c3s. You just block out small poker-sized podcasts and Jonathan Streeter. Real quick before I go on, we read some of the comments that he got on that. I found what I was looking for with Jon Stewart. Listen to this. I couldn't believe this.
So if you look at the debt as a measure of it, we have $16 trillion in debt. $10 trillion of it occurred under the Bush presidency. Now, why is that important? Because the policies that he's enacted
didn't occur under the Bush presidency. The total debt since George Washington, all right?
No.
You zipped it on up.
No, sir, that is not correct.
Look.
We had a surplus under Clinton. A surplus under Clinton. The debt had been X'd out.
So
the
the debt wasn't X'd out. You're mixing up the deficit with the debt. No. You're missing the deficit with the deficit is yearly spending. The debt is cumulative. The debt wasn't wiped out.
No fucking way. Wait. Oh,
John Stewart thought that the debt was completely wiped out under Bill Clinton.
Did he seriously think a surplus meant we were out of debt?
Yes.
Oh my God.
You want to hear it again?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
So if you look at the debt as a measure of it, we have $16 trillion in debt. $10 trillion of it occurred under the Bush presidency. Now, why is that important? Because the policies that he's enacted
didn't occur under the Bush presidency. That was the total debt since George Washington, all right?
No.
You zipped it on up.
No, sir, that is not correct.
Look.
We had a surplus under Clinton. A surplus under Clinton. The debt had been X'd out. So
the debt
Wow.
wasn't X'd out.
Oh
You're
my
mixing up
God, the
deficit
debt
with
had
the
been
debt. No, he took it.
X'd out.
You're missing the deficit with the deficit is yearly spending.
Holy
The debt is
shit.
cumulative.
I've given this guy so much credit. That is profoundly stupid.
Has anybody ever listened
He was
to
in his
this?
50s, wasn't he?
That's like AOC level.
I couldn't
The
It is.
Amazon thing.
I couldn't
Holy
believe it. That's why I didn't know like where to stick it. I was just like, holy.
How old is that? Is that
Dumbest
recent? Is that
thing
from
I've
a million
ever
years
seen.
ago?
It's like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's probably like 10
Oh.
years ago. But he was like in his 50s.
Yeah, that's
And he
crazy.
did this for a living. I would have understood that when I was 15, a day after it was explained to me. And I'm not like that smart.
We had our debt. The debt was all the way gone under Clinton. Like, if that was the case, we'd all be like, "I don't care what Clinton's done. Just keep him in there, Jiminy Christmas."
Yeah, holy fuck!
Yeah.
I would vote him right now to be president again. Like you just wipe out the debt again.
Give him
And-
20 Monica Lewinskis. She's old.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah, I
not
don't-
Epstein level.
I don't care how many BJs you get under the Oval Office desk. Just wipe out our debt. It's existential. It's more existential than the climate bullshit that you guys pretended to care about. Holy fuck!
Here's some clapback that Jonathan got. If you want to, those are 3 different people who I've blanked out because they're not podcasters.
Oh, this one sounds like rationality rules. If our society wasn't so stuck in the gender binary, maybe people could just be who they are throughout their lives, whatever that looks like. That's sort of his scapegoat. I remember when he debated Thomas Bogardus, it was just terrible because I think it was Thomas Bogardus. But anyway, he's like, well, I'm a gender abolitionist. I don't think any of this should matter. Like, well, then all of your argument is moot. If we abolish gender, then like, why would we even use she, her pronouns or he, him pronouns? But anyway, I agree that detransitioning stories should be heard as well. I just want people to be happy no matter where they end up. Well, that's, normie and kind of both ways, Detransition stories should be heard because people need to know a variety of possibilities and outcomes. The rate of detransition is amazingly low, however. We need to. So detransition stories should not be platformed in a way that makes it seem common or expected. It isn't a one-to-one rate and shouldn't get one-to-one coverage. Unlike race in America, that also, like in media, that isn't a one-to-one rate, but we should expect a one-to-one ratio.
That brought us to other things. Because Jonathan went back at Blair Hodges. We covered this last week, but he gave us last final thing, and it was talking about that. What do you call it? The therapeutic cascade thing. That only 1% of people ever are dissatisfied with their issue. And Jonathan, in a snarky way, as it was last week. I mean, I won't read all of it, but just the middle paragraph of the second one there. The first starting paragraph.
Yeah. Critics might argue that kids who had puberty blockers will not have enough penile growth to support the penile and virgin vaginoplasty. They might have a point. But that is why surgeons will do a sigmoid vaginoplasty, where they harvest a 12 to 15 centimeter length of sigmoid colon from the patient. That should terrify anybody. That sentence right there, while maintaining its blood supply. And then that mucosa line segment of colon is sutured to line the neovaginal tunnel incision. God, it sounds so gross. It sounds even gross when you describe it clinically like this. Incision
Try to say it in like a sultry voice or something, and we'll.
and line segment of colon is
A doc in
the
his voice.
the neovaginal tunnel incision made between the bladder, prostate, and rectum. Of course, patients will still have to regularly dilate for the rest of their lives and are expected sensory side effects of having exposed colonic mucosa. but those are known aspects of the procedure.
Yeah, just keep going. It makes perfect sense that these minimally invasive procedures would have a very low regret rate. Claiming that the studies showing 1% regret are flawed or ignorant. They think the fact that knee surgery has a regret rate of 20% is proof of the flaws in the reporting. So knee surgery has a 20. That's the point he's trying to make.
I think Jonathan is just slow. I think he's finally gone over the hump.
Yeah,
and he's just slowly working his way into full fuck you snark mode.
Well, I mean, I was just listening to the podcast, listened to it on RFM, and RFM is like the only like passing person for me out of all of them right now, because he listens to us. He's even given us a plug a couple times and all that sorts of stuff, but he just doesn't really venture into this stuff. He'll let other people say their piece on it, sort of deal.
Yeah,
but,
for him, it's like that's not my thing, and I get it.
Yeah, but we are in a world where people are basically bloodletting and leeching people. Like you know that. Like we can look around, we can see it. And if we're in a world of like we're hardcore, super truthy truth tellers, and we don't want to get in silos where we can't tell the truth. Like this stuff is come on, people claiming that the studies showing 1% regret are flawed or ignorant. They think the fact that knee surgery has a regret rate of 20% is proof of the flaws in the reporting data, but they need to understand that the science is settled, and even questioning the data is causing harm and fueling these bigoted attacks on affirmative care. You see how he pulled off a Dan McClellan right there, so he did it, but I don't know if it's just like I probably still bonked off the head of that Blair guy. He probably still doesn't get what the guy's talking about and doesn't get that it's being snarky. That it is the 1% thing and the small stuff that you guys brag about is a red flag. It's a red flag in medical science. In medical science, 1% is a sign of a therapeutic cascade. That is a red flag.
Somebody who wouldn't make that 1% is Jazz Jennings, and I watched his show, the I Am Jazz show, and I remember watching him get his bottom surgery when he was 17. By the way, still a minor, which it doesn't happen, right? And it's fucking barbaric. And he would be one of those that would right now in his activist mind claim, I do not regret my transition surgery, but it's a nightmare. I don't even think it's done yet. I think he had 4 or 5 additional surgeries after to try to recorrect some of the shit they had fucked up, which, like, by the way, all of it is to fuck up. Like it's intentionally a fuck up. Like, yeah, they're trying to make a vagina out of nothing except a dick, and you can't do that. So it's gonna fuck up from the beginning.
Has any straight man, well, as straight as you could be in the situation, because I genuinely don't know, but has anybody reported on what it's like to actually have traditional sex with a bottom surgery trans woman?
Traditional?
Like,
I've talked about this.
Louis C.K. made a whole episode on it.
I would rather
he didn't even know till the morning, at least according to the episode.
If you put a gun in my head and told me you got to have sex with a male to female tranny and it can be pre-op or post-op, I would immediately say, oh, pre-op for sure. Like I do not want a dick anywhere near me. That sounds so unappealing. I'm going to hate every second of this, but that's a festering wound you got right there. Yeah, it's funny the way Jonathan describes it because he's so clinical and proper about it, which makes it funnier because anytime I describe it to people, like people at work will come, anytime the trans shit gets brought up, they ask me about it because I obsess over the absurd. And
They know you as the trans guy, the go-to guy for trans shit.
And they'll be like, "What are they? How do they do it?" Like, "Oh no, He's like, "Hey, the colloid fusion of the penile tissue to make the neovaginal canal." And I'm like, "Nah, dude. If you've been on hormones since you were a kid and you never went through puberty, your cock's too small. It's too fucking small. So you only got like an inch of depth, and they got to do something so they'll either blow up your fucking scrotum to the size of a cantaloupe and shove that to be your labia. Or if they can't do that, they'll rip out part of your fucking butthole and they'll just staple it inside your cock."
A major turning point for me on the whole trans thing was like more than probably 10 years ago at least, maybe longer. And I don't even know why, but like YouTube algorithm was like, hey, here is the head of bottom surgery at USC, and it was like the 90-minute, so you're considering a vaginoplasty. And so it was like just purely clinical, and it described like preoperative, the operation itself, and postoperative. And I watched that whole thing. And like, because like, and before that, I was just really naive, I guess, because I'm like, well, medical science is amazing. I guess they can make something like a vagina. And
before you think about it, you're just like, oh, they just put a vagina on him, duh.
Yeah, like I mean, almost. But like after watching that thing, and again, like
it
this
never
is hardly anti-trans. It was the head. It was the doctor that is the head of the USC Surgical Center that specializes in this crap. And watching that was like, oh fuck no. This is not okay. Like, that's not a vagina. That's not a life. That can't be good for anybody. Like, it's completely bonkers. But anyway, I gotta bail because I'm lame and gotta work in the morning.
You don't want to talk about the Super Bowl and the Spanish?
The Super Bowl was disappointing. Oh, that's the only thing I got to say about Super Bowl. Guy sets Super Bowl record. 5 field goals and a couple of points after.
The MVP was the running back that didn't score a single touchdown.
Running back who didn't score, and like apparently kicker was like not even on the podium. And then like also like the quarterback gets up, he's like, I gotta thank my offensive line. Guy who scored all the points doesn't even get a mention. Kickers get no love.
You're going off like what Corolla was saying about it.
Corolla.
Corolla also said, "What if it was a black man? What if it was a black?"
Oh yeah, no. Then like there'd be a statue of him by now.
The Corolla bit on it was hilarious because it shows how fucking memory autistic he is. Because he's like, I'm pretty sure a running back has never won MVP without scoring a touchdown. And the guy's like, what about Ray? What's his face?
He grokked it.
And the guy grokked it, and Grok was wrong. It was like, and he's like, no. He was playing against the Chiefs. He was playing against the Chiefs or the the Redskins in that one. He did that cool turnaround and he scored. I know he did. I'm smarter than the fucking computer. Look it up.
But yeah, that's so crazy to me that like that guy won the game and like basically like, oh, wow, he's an afterthought.
Who who really got ripped off not getting MVP was Shedeur Sanders.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
They should have given us.
At least he got put in the Pro Bowl. You don't want a racism happen to the child of a almost billionaire who didn't deserve to be there at all.
But in honor of
racism.
Puerto Rican Super Bowl halftime show, I'm gonna go eat tacos.
Just for a while.
Okay. That really is him, isn't it?
Yeah, that's him.
Alrighty, I'm not getting sucked in. I'll have to tune in next week.
Are you getting sucked off?
Yes, by Bad Bunny.
Oh,
Man, what's Bad Bunny's O-face like? He sounds deaf, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sounds deaf. He totally sounds deaf to me. Not just from the tune, but just like the way he talks. I hardly understood any of it and speak Spanish, obviously. And there's a lot of Mexican, even rappers, that I like, and I like a lot. And I do not like that. That is just crap. Anyway, back to this because I guess we'll get to Bad Bunny in normal time. Beyond being like bloodletting and leeches and all that sorts of stuff, it's also emotional blackmail, as pointed out by JD Hautigan, PhD. Their day of reckoning is coming. Make no mistake, the lies they told and emotional blackmail they spewed to sell a lie to vulnerable children and adolescents was psychopathic. If my child or this child or I, the child, is or I am not affirmed with gender affirming care, then I will commit suicide. This is blackmail. And when Delin tosses it around, he's also doing a type of emotional blackmail there.
Look, I'm not
every time he brings it up. What?
I'm never quick to say like lock him up, right? Like I'm pretty sure I would call that Alex Pretty death unjustified, but I'm pretty slow to say lock the guy up for it, you know? Like I'm very, very slow, including, I don't know, some high profile politicians that I think are corrupt, but doctors that told scared parents your son will kill himself if you don't call her your daughter, lock them the fuck up.
Yep.
For sure.
It became a part of basic super science, modern, current day, John DeLynn level therapy to use emotional blackmail on parents.
We should pull the medical record. No, they should be in prison.
Yeah. This is weird. Marxist feminists complaining that you always get like a roundabout second thing. I guess it's kind of like an angle that what's her name, J.K. Rowling would use, but it's just men taking away women's rights is their angle on it there, which isn't too wrong in some senses.
It's not wrong, but it's, I don't know, like
found wrongly.
I butt heads with the TERFs on this because this isn't patriarchy. It's just fucking retarded.
Yeah. It's not patriarchy. It's not men being like, yeah, go get those girls. Most men are horrified by men doing this to girls. And it's mostly women who are voting to have it happen.
Why do we let them vote? My God.
What's this called? The Liberal Jane illustrations. We've been getting.
Oh yeah, look at that! I have hairy legs. Yeah, I know.
If your feminism isn't trans inclusive, it isn't feminism.
Okay, that's fine. I don't have a feminism. School should be a place for queer kids to be safe.
Pronouns didn't become political. Refusal did. You know who's not in the Epstein files? Gay people, trans people, black people, Muslim people. You want to know all of those are in there.
Yeah, they don't. That's like a Catholic being like, you know, who never rapes kids? Religious people. Like, no, don't say that, dude. Like every group of people has some rapey fuckers in it.
It's all wealthy, straight, white Christian men. Nothing about the
Christian. Okay, you got a picture of Epstein there. He's the Jewiest Jew in the whole goddamn Epstein. The straight white Christian. Yeah, it's the straight white Christian man.
And he didn't want to work with the goys. That's what was released in the Epstein.
He hates
many things of him not wanting to work with the goy, or just make them work for him. But. Oh yeah, I forgot this. This very week, Trump did the Obama racism thing.
I say there's the history.
I already forgot about that.
It's because it was a nothing burger. It was like, even if he posted it and it was supposed to be as racist as that still is making it seem like it's supposed to be, my reaction is I don't care. I still don't care. Like, how could you possibly care about this? You think he's committing a genocide. Why do you care if he's kind of racist? Like, why would that matter at all to me? If I'm a Jew in 30s Germany and I find out that like Hitler kicks his dog, you think I'm going to bring that up? He's actually really shitty at animals. I don't care if he kicks he's killing Jews. Okay?
Going off your
Trump
gut.
has concentration camps where he's starving Mexican American citizen children, right? So why do you care about this?
Going off your gut, heart of hearts, do you think that?
No.
Suppose he was a staffer of the Post. Do you think it was purposeful, or do you think a purposeful troll or accidental?
Okay, I'd say it's like 80% chance that Trump saw it as the Lion King's like, I am the lion in this. Post that right now.
You saw the actual video that came out, right?
Yeah, kind of. It wasn't it just a. So I saw two things that
Oh
were.
no,
sort of
I've got to show
conflicting.
you like what actually happened.
Well, wasn't this okay, I know the thing that you're gonna say. The thing that you're gonna say is that it was a video, and then at the end of the video, it had like, oh, next thing, like
Yeah.
the next video, and then it showed that still.
Mm-hmm.
I saw somebody show the full video, and it's just like Lion King type thing, and Trump's face is on the lion, and it's got a bunch of
Yeah, so the whole actual video is just like boomer slop. But the thing that the White House posted was a different video, just that for the last 2 seconds flashed over to just that image of, because it was going to the next video.
Yeah.
And it was like less than 2 seconds long. And some people are saying he knew what he was doing that on purpose.
How would you do that on purpose? I mean, I guess you could if you're the president. You call.
And they also said it's the White House thing where a staffer posted anyway. It's not Trump posting there. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. How often do you think a staffer posts Trump's shit? I feel like he posts almost 100% of the shit.
No, that's on Trump's Truth Social. This is like the White House post.
Oh.
I don't think he posts on that.
Okay, yeah, you're right. No, that the White House posts are snarky, but they're not Trump.
Yeah, I might be wrong about that, but I think it was the White House posting it.
I've always seen it on his Truth Social.
So it's his. Maybe I'm wrong then.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd look that up. I thought I had the version of it, but decided to put it away because I didn't think I wanted to play the whole thing. But I did have it saved somewhere. But yeah, it just flashes to it for a second or two. I don't know. I think it was accidental, but some people. I think I was talking to Kevin, and Kevin's like, I think he was putting troll in there just to see if it would like light them off and do the thing of 40 chests of make them, because the original video was about election fraud. And he's like, he can't get them to do election fraud unless they see something like that and they'll freak out about it. And then he tricked them all into watching the election fraud video or something like that.
If I were a boomer Republican, I'd say something like, "Oh, Big Mike is looking more womanly than he ever has before. Has a nice body on him."
Yeah.
I never knew your tits was so nice, Big Mike.
Actually, I have a funny video on them.
I never get tired of that image where he looks like he's about to vomit.
I mean, it does kind of like, I mean, just like a good meme does get at the crux of it too. Like, you are so obviously faking liking this thing.
Well, this looks like a missionary companionship, and everyone has had that experience. Every missionary's had that experience where you're trying to convince your gag reflex not to go off, and trying to tell the mamita that her comida es buena.
Yeah. So watch this. I mean, this is kind of the same thing, but
The left's reaction to
I guess I'm running the show now. Ha. Let's talk shit on Chris, everybody. You believe Chris? Oh, I'm Chris, and I got a vape every now and then. Yeah, we all have our addictions, you know. I've got this water that I have to drink every stream. Chris has his vape. Oh, hey, buddy. We're just telling everybody how awesome you were.
My thing booted me out.
Oh.
That was weird. I'm afraid I was afraid it ended the entire stream, but
No, it didn't even let you pause it. That was kind of funny.
that was trippy. This thing stayed up after it booted me out.
It stayed up, and then I
That's
saw
so
your
weird.
mouse move and pause it after you got kicked out.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
And you're on the top still, so I don't really know what happened.
Yeah, that was weird. Anyway, hope
I'll
that
quit
doesn't
out.
happen again.
the left's reaction to Bad Bunny's halftime show did not disappoint.
Oh my god, I did not expect that to make me cry.
Holy
For
fuck.
me to not understand a single word that's being said, and I can't stop crying, like that just shows you.
Was it when he said we should lick butts in Spanish?
Okay, I'm really trying not to cry right now, but I just watched Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime performance on my own, like outside of a Super Bowl party, and it is so beautiful. I am 0% Latino.
Meanwhile, Bad Bunny was like, "Ay, something about genitals, ay." The left,
Holy shit. How do you oh, how do you post shit like that? Like, it would be difficult for me to post something like that of like a piece of music that was genuinely moving and beautiful. Like, it's just, oh my God, like, it's too much for me. I can't.
So was the right freaking out about it equally cringe on the other side, or no? The White House posted this trolling on illegals coming over the border to Joe Biden.
Except it's inaccurate. They just walked.
I thought it was kind of funny as I was talking about with you guys that if you really think about this thing, it just says, hey, yeah, we're all basically your indentured servants working in the fields here. And then Ricky Martin saying about not wanting to join up with the U.S. Look what they did to Hawaii. So no representation. So just remain indentured 3/5 servants of us as an American, you know.
Or just have it back. I don't care.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay. You can have it. You can have Puerto Rico. Oh, awesome. Oh no. Fuck, you can have Hawaii. I don't. Fuck off. Jesus.
So some people were just trying to say, oh, it was just a thing. Do you think it was subversive? It was purposefully subversive. I mean, obviously
it was subversive and it was like performatively retarded.
Yeah, and it was purposely trying to divide stuff. I saw Glenn Beck say, do you want to know what's the highest charting Bad Bunny's ever had?
I have no idea.
Like 85. He hasn't even made the top 40 ever. And he's at the Super Bowl halftime. And in the past, almost every Super Bowl halftime ever was almost legacy people who had number ones, and the number ones were 10, 15 years old. And then suddenly this, in the year of all the Trump stuff and ICE and all that sorts of stuff. And so then it like kind of creates a separation. Like people can't get away from the politics in watching the thing. And I mean, I get the thing that the NFL has to appeal to people who wouldn't just watch for the heckin' game, you know what I mean? But I mean, they're obviously trying to irk people.
But I don't know. It's like, how far removed from your fan base can you get? These are like, a lot of these people are guys that I work with because I've worked at the same place for like 11 years now. And so I've seen like 11 Super Bowls now. And the further into the 20 teens we got, the more retarded the NFL got. They got a little bit less retarded for maybe a year, and then they went with this. It's still less retarded than it was in like 2021, but still retarded. And the lefties I work with would always like, can you believe these guys complaining about fucking Colin Kaepernick and stuff? I was like, well, okay, yeah, I can for a couple of reasons. One, because you need to read some Roland Fryer, all right? You need to look into his fucking study, you dumbass. You haven't looked into any of this. You just looked at what your site says, which, granted, a lot of these righties who are pissed off at it haven't looked into it too much either. But, like, if we're talking about a football game, mostly what they're mad at, and maybe they're not very good at articulating it, but mostly what they're mad at is that these are blue-collar guys that have just worked in a long day, and they're super excited about their thing. They want to come home, they want to sit down, have a beer, and they just want to watch a game. And games are cool to watch. They're fun. I haven't watched football religiously since I was in like the 5th grade, and I can still understand the excitement of watching Monday Night Football. And if you preach that, like, not just with Kaepernick and not just in halftime shows, but like the fucking end racism logos in the end zones with the Black Lives Matter shit on their helmets with the pride fucking nonsense. You just stop. These guys they just want to watch a game. So just let them watch the fucking game.
The NFL appointed a kindness czar or something like that.
It's a woman. It's a woman.
No, it's a guy.
No, it's a woman.
It's yeah, but a guy.
It's a fucking that's chick stuff. Holy shit. Yeah, we had a mental health meeting yesterday.
Here it is. Dar man. I mean,
Dar man? No way.
Even the name's man. You're so
no
wrong.
way. Oh my god. Wait, no. Do you know who this is?
Who?
Oh my god, you've never heard
No,
of Dhar Mann?
no, don't know. I don't know Dhar Mann.
Holy shit, he is a huge YouTuber, and
Nuh-uh.
his numbers are like largely fake. And seriously, you got to watch him sometime. Me and Morgan used to watch Dhar Mann or Samir Bhavnani. Holy fuck, this is amazing. So Dhar Mann, Samir Bhavnani, and a bunch of other Indians had these genres of YouTube video where it was the corniest fucking situation you could possibly imagine. It was like,
wait a minute, I might have seen some of these.
I bet you have.
This is
It's
random
like,
corn.
it was like husband leaves wife.
I think I might have seen
because she's too nice,
Yeah.
and but then she meets billionaire, and husband ends up homeless.
I think I have seen one or two of those.
Unfathomably stupid.
It almost felt like you stumbled across like an Elsa Gate video of just something that was like created by some sort of AI. Like, what the hell is this?
Dude, I gotta tell Morgan about this. She's gonna be so excited. The kindness czar, dude. This dude is so fucking fake. Holy shit! I'm so excited.
Kindness officer, I guess. But
Oh
yeah.
my god! Oh my god! Oh man!
Yeah, they're ridiculous. This is the first year since my mission, and actually my mission, they let us watch the Super Bowl one year, so only one of those years.
What?
I didn't watch a down. Yeah, we got to watch the Super Bowl one year.
I got to watch General Conference.
Nice. Yeah, I got to watch. Well, I didn't watch. I wasn't like you. I wasn't a frito, man. I didn't watch TV ever until, except for the 2 times I was allowed to. One time when my zone got the most baptisms, we were allowed to watch the first Star Wars.
That's
and
simple.
I was mightily disappointed in that.
How
And
were you disappointed on your mission?
I just didn't think the Star Wars was very good.
Well, it's not very good, but I'm like, if I were on my mission, I hadn't watched anything.
Oh, I was happy to be in a house. I remember the house.
I could have
remember
watched.
chilling.
I
I was very happy about that.
I'm like, I could have watched The Rise of Skywalker, and I would have thought it was amazing.
No, I was very happy to laze around and watch it. I just didn't love the movie, but I also didn't hate it as bad as like it got later. I just was like, I don't know about that. Like it just the visuals. I didn't really like overanalyze the story quite yet, but the visuals to me is like that didn't look. I didn't like the new visuals of it. But then yeah, we got to watch the Super Bowl. But this is the first year since then I did not watch a down of football this year. Not a single down. I didn't watch any of the Super Bowl. I didn't watch the Bad Bunny thing till the next day. I watched the Charlie Kirk thing in real time.
Did you?
And I hate to be that guy, but I do not like that music very much.
Well, it's cringe that they even decided to do it. Like I was like, it's gonna suck.
Well, I mean, cringe or not, like if you're getting that many views and you're going to make money off it, I guess you can't. And these guys screwed up enough that they lost views to something like that. There was something, as people explained to me what Kid Rock did. I think there was actually some art to that in the sense of he came out with his Bang to Bang Boogie song, right?
Yeah.
And it was, I never liked Kid Rock and that stuff. And then it had like a transition period with music, and then he came out and sang his like Christ redemption song. So it was like showing a story of I'm not that guy anymore. I'm this guy now. And he came and he didn't have Kid Rock name. He had his name and all that sorts of stuff. So they were trying to show.
Wait, was Dwayne the Kid Rock Johnson?
His name's like Rob Ritchie or something like that.
Yeah.
And he came out with that. And so, I mean, they're trying to tell a narrative there or something like that. I didn't love the songs, but the songs before that was like boot rock with country lyrics. Like it's boot rock music with beer and the thing, but it's
I
all,
like my beer, and
but it's all power
like
chords.
America, and I like country women on country roads in America.
It's those words, but with like Creed music. You know what I mean? It's those words, but what's the real crap? Nickelback.
With pigs wide open.
Yeah, but like with my cold beer and my truck on the road, yeah. You wear short shorts and we pray to God. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, we do not like this, but whatever. They made some money. The Bad Bunny thing, they have like all those visuals of people watching the stadium, And I think it was the first time ever that it was just so obvious that they only cared about the television people when all other things have always been the stadium performance. It looked terrible at the stadium. Have you seen any? You've seen some of those videos, right?
Oh yeah, when you take it out of the stadium, it's so obvious that this was not meant to be a stadium performance. It's like they're shooting a music video and allowing a stadium to witness it.
Yeah, but if they didn't have to think about that, which I think they should have to think about it, I think you should, like, look at this. The two most iconic Super Bowl, super bigoted me, the two most iconic Super Bowl halftimes are Michael Jackson and Prince.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
You remember when one of the biggest Super Bowl scandals was that the Chili Peppers didn't have their instruments plugged in?
Yeah, yeah.
And now we're like, that was quaint.
There was some scandal around. Well, there was Janet Jackson's boobie. And
yeah, but like it wasn't a music issue. It wasn't like a performance issue.
Yeah. People brought up an issue with Beyonce's stuff because it had like Black Panther imagery in it. And it was obvious that it was Black Panther imagery, but you kind of had to know of what she was definitely pulling up. So it wasn't like that wild of a thing. I'm trying to find just what the stadium looked like. And then a bunch of people showed that none of the whiteys were dancing there. But as somebody who plays a lot of shows in Utah, that's about what crowds in Utah look like. I've not just played my shows are like that. They'll come and watch like that, and then they'll come and say, "Ooh, it was really good." That's what playing to rich people looks like. But 'cause I don't care like what you put out there, these people weren't gonna dance, you know. But of course, there's like one Latina there or something like that. But
Are you just judging by the booty?
Yeah, but I mean, it's not just my show. I've been to enough different shows in Utah, enough different people that's just how you get upper class whitey. That's how music is enjoyed.
¿Cómo que tú sabes que ella es latina? Eh?
Yeah. Man,
how did you say that? Like how in Spanish do you say? How do you know that she's Latina?
¿Cómo sabes que es latina?
Oh, okay.
It's quicker.
Okay, wait.
¿Cómo sabes que ella es latina?
Okay, yeah. The ella was mixed in. I was just thinking about the other day trying to communicate with people who speak in Spanish, and I was like, okay, because I was at a Walmart. This was a few years back, and I think I've told this story where this couple didn't know how to speak English, and the teller didn't know how to speak English, or the clerk, the guy at the counter didn't know how to speak English, and he's like, or Spanish, and he's like, does anyone know how to speak Spanish? And it was 2 a.m, so I was the only one there, and I was like, Portuguese, and they're like, hablas español, and I was like, tell me if this is correct. I was like, si hablas bien devagar, puedo te entender.
Say it again.
Si hablas bien devagar.
Devagar, I don't know what that is.
Okay, that's in Portuguese. It's slow.
Oh, slowly. Yeah, slowly.
How do you say slow?
Despacio.
Okay, yeah, it's a different word. So you probably had no clue what I was saying, but we kind of roughly translated it.
What was the second half? Hablas bien devagar.
I said, puedo te entender.
Yeah, you can understand. Yeah, but every once in a while you just get like one word that's wildly different, and you're like, "What?"
Yeah, so a lot of the words are really similar. So when I try to speak very slow, shitty Spanish to people, I just say the Portuguese word in a Spanish accent.
Yeah, I mean, you can just do it.
Obviously, despacho is different than devagar.
Yeah, you can do it like reading Italian and French too. Like you can kind of read it for sure.
No, I've noticed that. Like I can. When people ask me about the Latin-based languages, I'm like, I could probably read quite a bit of Spanish. I can read a little bit of Italian and a tiny bit of French.
French, it's actually kind of more in the small words that are way different, but all the big words are the same. Yeah. But yeah, you can read a ton. And you want to know what's weird? I bet you, without a doubt, there is some word that means slow in Spanish that's closer to that word. And there probably is some word in Portuguese that's closer to the word in Spanish. Like there will be 2 versions of it. It's just the Portuguese uses the that one, and the Spanish uses the other.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. What do they what word do they use for excited in Spanish?
Well, if you say it like excitado, it sounds like horny. So you
Okay.
have to say animado.
Yeah, okay, that's the exact same in Portuguese.
It's the exact same.
Yeah, because I told my teacher in the MTC, I was like, estamos muito excitado a ensinar vocês. And she was a staunch Mormon, so she didn't tell me, but she's like, look up what excitado means. And I was like, oh, okay. I just told you we're really
you guys
horny
have-
to teach the gospel.
Do you have the mistake that you can make if you say hot instead of hot? Like I'm hot.
And
How do you
hot
say I'm
is
hot?
different. Toquench. Oh wait, no, you're right. It's different. What is it in Spanish?
Well, in Spanish, if you say
Caliente is hot, but
yeah, but if you say that, it means I'm horny. Estoy caliente. But
think it
if
might be
you
what-
say you say tengo calor to say I'm
yeah,
feeling
no,
hot.
it's exactly the same thing. You're right because it's hot as quench, but you do say estoy con calor. I remember that now. I forgot that until you mentioned it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one that always kind of comes up. If one of the first things that somebody will say, and then you just announced to everybody that you're horny, It's racist to not like the Bad Bunny show.
Bunny song. I already got one. Sorry about that. I don't know who that is. I've never heard of Bad Bunny. I don't know who it is.
These are all the NFL players.
Performing at halftime. Yeah, I don't know who it is. I don't know no Bad Bunny song. Do you think they made a mistake? I believe so. I ain't never heard of bro till now. I don't have one. I don't listen to him. I don't know any song.
Oh, what the heck's it called? I blanked out the name too.
I don't think I have one. I don't know Bad Bunny song. That's a tough one. I don't have one. I don't really listen to that, but I can't lie. I really do not know any. I haven't listened to any songs.
I don't know any to keep it G.
I just tuned into Bad Bunny this morning because is it DTMF? DTM2. Like your second favorite. I don't think I remember. I like Mi Pregunto.
Oh, of course, it's a whitey who can name it all.
Mi Pregunto. Listen to Bad Bunny. It's the one that goes, ooh, boy. That's all I know. Though. That's because
I know that one that say,
Yeah, just say this, La Camiseta.
La Camiseta.
La Camiseta.
Wait, what is camiseta? Is that condom?
No, that's a small shirt.
Okay, because that's actually in. So what's the word for condom in Spanish?
Condón.
Oh, really? So in Portuguese, it's camisinho means condom, but inho, that's like the diminutive. So when you want to say, if you're an English speaker and you know the word, if you wanted to say that like little shirt, you would try to say camisinho, but that means condom. So yeah, if you want to actually say little shirt, you say camiseta.
Yeah,
So that's another one of those funny innuendos that fools missionaries sometimes.
When I said condón, it's an N at the end there. It's not.
Yeah.
N. Yeah. More racism.
I'm like, who is this man? Golly. He can't sing. I mean, like, what is this? Golly. This is ridiculous. And got the American flag and all these other flags. And yeah, God bless you too. Get off the stage, please. Get off. Put the game back on. I can't stand this.
But abuelita, we gotta be
Tell me that.
unitos, como nosos bros.
I mean, what in the world is all this foolishness? Thank you. Get off the stage, please. Jesus.
Oh my God.
You want to know what? I'm gonna do a compliment sandwich, or it's not a sandwich. It's after ripping on him. Say one thing. Did you watch any of those?
Wait, hang on. I don't know if I cut out or you cut out, but I didn't.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
It's probably me. My thing's been weird all night. Just to say something nice about Bad Bunny, I thought a couple of his skits on Saturday Night Live were funny. I thought 3 or 4 of them were kind of good.
Dude, I never watched it. I never watched any of it. I haven't. When I found out there was controversy around him playing, I was like, I don't know, maybe I should listen to his song to see if he's any good. And then I didn't. And all I've seen of him is that field, the stadium view of his shitty performance, that thing I sent you of the highlights of him going, hey, okay, and then the one other thing that you sent of his backing track malfunctioning, and he sounded like he sounded
Yeah.
deaf. So
I think I have it right here.
Oh, yep.
This is real too. It was a real. I can't understand a word of that.
Dude,
Like I don't understand the word.
It sounds like a Make-A-Wish Foundation kid.
There's a bunch of stuff if people don't know of Spanish speakers saying they don't understand it. Just like you probably didn't understand 80% of what Kendrick Lamar was saying last year. You know. And then of course all of his lyrics were how do I sum it up? It's like this big cultural moment. All of his lyrics were raunchy Mambo number 5, which is just
Little Monica with my tongue in her butt.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Little bit of Jasmine gagging on my cock.
Except that has a hook, you know. So do that without a hook, and just name a bunch of different chicks.
Feeling my cock pulse in and out of her as I approach orgasm a little bit. Yeah, that's actually one of the things I noticed when I was watching the stadium view of it. Man, his vocals, even his they didn't sound like they were even in time.
No,
like that's one of the dumbest. I can understand how somebody can be a little bit atonal on accident, like they can fuck up the pitch, but if you fuck up the rhythm while you're singing basically karaoke, what the shit?
So this is in Spanish. Two guys laughing. Los americanos enojados porque Bad Bunny cantará en español en el Super Bowl y no le van a entender. Supieran ellos que nosotros tampoco lo entendemos. That's if only they knew.
Assuming the rest of us understood.
If only they knew, the rest of us don't understand as well. Let me see here. Stadium confused. I thought I had some AI translations of his lyrics. I won't play the whole thing, but
hey, TT asked me if he has a whole lot of girlfriends. Hey, a whole lot of girlfriends. I've got one girl tonight and tomorrow another, but there's no wedding, no way. TT asked me if I've got a lot of girlfriends. Hey, so many girlfriends. Today I've got one, tomorrow I'll have another. Hey, I'm gonna take them all to a VIP section, a VIP. Hey, say hello to TT, let's all take a selfie, say cheese. Let them smile and in a VIP, hey.
I'm happy.
I love how the AI starts like doing it.
Let all those who forgot smile now. From you, I really like the Gabriels, Patricia, Nicole, and Sophia. My first girlfriend in kindergarten, Maria, and my very first love was called Thalia. I have a Colombian girl who writes to me every day, and a Mexican girl I didn't even know about. Another one in San Antonio who still loves me, and the girls from PR, every single one is mine. A Dominican who's a sweetie, a hottie, hey,
We're a full minute. We're a full minute into this, and the audience hasn't seen him yet.
Oh yeah. I couldn't find like the footage of that, but yeah, there's footage of them just like watching. They cannot see what's happening.
Well, they probably didn't start playing until they saw him. They had no idea. They're like, "Is this like intro music or something?" And then he's gonna bust out and start the song. No, he's like a minute into this song, and you have not seen him yet.
Yeah,
unless you're in the nosebleeds with binoculars.
You want if they didn't make such a big deal out of it, or if this is just like Shakira performing or something like that, and it looked like that, I'd say that looks pretty cool. Oh, it's not really a stadium thing, but that's a cool idea. But of course, it's like all wrapped up in all the other stuff. And then of course, you know, there's nothing naughty about it. Oh, just two guys grinding in the truck
just
there.
Two guys like smacking cocks together.
They have they have an EBT sign up in the middle of it, like, yeah, we want our EBT. They really did.
I forgot about that. Holy shit, that's so funny. Oh so my god. Oh, did what's his face? Tony, Kill Tony. Did Kill Tony write this? Is there an island of garbage in the set piece?
This part was really upsetting.
Kichima, Chimram Konto, Alliance, shoot to kill, Yamaza, kill the poor, the farmer, kill.
Oh wait.
Isn't that a new one though? Like, didn't he do this again
Did
very
he?
recently?
This guy?
Yeah, I think he. I
didn't
swear I
hear
heard
that.
about it. I'll
Another
have to look it
stadium?
up.
Mm.
I don't remember. Shoot the ball!
Shoot the ball. Shoot the farmer. I thought I had something with auto tune. I thought I had something that just sounded like. I mean, there's all those AAs and all that stuff.
Estoy loco y te comida en mi boca in the brain.
This was like a thing a couple years ago when
The mumble rappers.
no,
They didn't
when
sound
you remember when the NPR song of the year was WAP, right?
Oh.
And I was around with like a couple of my friends, like that song is so good, it's so fire, and I was like, you guys know it sucks.
Wait, you
It
had
sucks.
friends? You had friends that thought it was
They were
good?
NPR. They were NPR watchers. Like they were repeating what NPR told them to repeat.
Dude, we
you
live
know?
in different worlds, man.
And I stopped and said to him, like, no, man, it sucks. Like nobody's gonna be like stopping and like singing wet ass pussy 10 years from now or something like that. It's a sucky song. And I can sing Café Tacuba right now. Ya cholo chango chilango, que chapa chamba te chutas, no sé andar de cuche y chale con la charola. I love all sorts of Mexican stuff like that. This sucks. It just sucks. The same way you can look at the TPUSA stuff and say the butt rock with country lyrics sucks. And if you weren't political dipshits, you could just say stuff sucks.
Oh, I know. Like I think of like there's some Brazilian pop songs that we heard a ton of when I was there, and I can still sing them, and they're schlocky and dumb as fuck, but I still kind of like them. You know, they're catchy.
Well, they played kind of a famous one that Dame más gasolina.
But and the lyrics are really, really fucking stupid. But they're not like, I have 6 girlfriends, and my auntie asks why I have 6 girlfriends. I have a girlfriend in Bolivia and also in Colombia, but then my girlfriend from kindergarten, she in the VIP section, the VIP section and stuff, you know? Like if I had to like direct.
Here's an isolated view. Go ahead.
I'm thinking of a better analogy. Just keep going.
No, yo tengo una, mañana otra, pero no hay boda. Titi me preguntó si tengo muchas novias. Ey, muchas novias. Tengo una, mañana otra. Ey.
I can understand a lot better when it's isolated, but
Me la voy a llevar la top, un VIP. Ey, saludan a Titi.
Try to wait. Pause it for a sec. Try when he does it. Try to hammer out the beat.
Oh,
Me preguntó si tengo muchas novias. Ey, muchas novias. Tengo una, mañana otra.
I can't.
Pero no hay boda. Titi me preguntó si tengo muchas novias. Ey, muchas novias. Tengo una, mañana otra. Ey, me la voy a llevar la top.
is he doing that thing like he's singing in the microphone with his nose?
Yeah, like it's just it's just in 4/4, right?
Yeah.
Like I think it's just in 4/4.
Well,
I'm like,
I think I had that that quote from Ryan Long.
Yeah, I know.
I was running for president of a Latin country. My platform would be to bring the people a second drum beat. And this stuff drives me crazy. NPR, can a superstar be an actual voice of resistance? You're the resistance, man. The Super Bowl's got the resistance in it.
This is why the Star Wars sequel trilogy is just the perfect woke analogy. Because I remember that like watching Force Awakens, we come out of it and my friends were like, well, you know, that was all right. You know, like we were like, yeah, you know, we were optimistic somewhat. And then I was like, but like, why were they the resistance? They won. Like last time we saw them, they beat the Empire. How come they're still the rebels? And if they are the rebels, why did they change their name to the what are they resist? They're the power now.
Yeah.
And no, they always got to be the resistance.
You should have examined what happens when that happens or something like that.
Yeah.
And we could have good stories again.
Well, Hunger Games did it better. Hunger Games is a young adult novel.
I only saw the first couple of those. Like, what happens?
So, I mean, I never watched the last couple movies. It's just after we watched the second movie, we were driving to Missouri, so we wanted to listen to some books. I was like, let's listen to Hunger Games. So we listened to all of the books of the Hunger Games. And so first book is she's it's exactly how you remember it, pretty much. She volunteers as tribute for her sister, rebels against killing PETA, and says they're both going to kill themselves, puts them into a political stalemate, and then makes them say, "Oh, no, we don't want that. We don't want that. So you both win." Second game, she's back in the Hunger Games again, but it's because it's like they're taking all of the winners of former Hunger Games and putting them into a battle royale, but then they break out of it. And then the last book is her fighting with the resistance. And it's her kind of slowly learning how shitty the resistance is. And she's a figurehead of the resistance. And in the and her sister's killed based on orders of the resistance leader, and she's slowly finding out that the resistance leader is, at least just about as corrupt as the king, the what a president or whatever of the capital. And so she's given the ceremonial duty of shooting an arrow to kill the captured president. Except the last second she turns and she shoots the president of the resistance that she's been fighting with the whole time. And it's a little bit of a plot twist. You would probably see it coming if you were to read the book or especially watch the movie. I don't know. I haven't watched it, but they did it better than fucking Star Wars, like the most profitable IP in the world.
Yeah. Just real quick, the Olympics. Did you hear all the Olympics athletes talking about being so worried about Minnesota over in the Olympics?
Oh God!
You didn't hear any of that?
I pay so little attention to the Olympics, even on a normal year.
Yeah.
The last year I paid attention to the Olympics was in 2002 when I was in 4th grade because the torch passed through Rexburg and I lived there at the time. We got.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I mean, I check out some of the stuff, but this just kills me because it's like this guy sums it up here.
To represent the U.S. right now, I think it's a little hard, and there's obviously a lot going on that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I think a lot of people aren't. Just because I'm wearing the flag doesn't mean I represent everything that's going on in the U.S.
Bro, that's crazy. Yeah. You can't represent America in the Olympics if you don't want to be. What country would you rather represent? Mexico? China? Maybe you should go try to get a citizenship there instead. It might be really hard since they have some of the toughest immigration laws in the world, but maybe you would feel happier representing some other nation. If I was a foreign nation and I wanted to destabilize another country, I would fully convince their citizens that their nation is on stolen land and therefore illegitimate, and they're not allowed to have.
Beyond all that other stuff, one of the things I've gotten in that argument so many different times. I think it was even on Mormon Stories one time when some guy said, "I live in Korea, and you should see the way that we treat the outsider here in Korea," or something like that. There's just some white guy living there. I'm like, just the simplest, easiest little Google search, and you see that their immigration laws are way, way, way stricter than ours have ever been.
Yeah, let's see about how Mexico sees their southern border, because we talk about Canada a lot and how we don't restrict immigrants from our southern border. And like, yeah, no shit. Who would want to go there other than retarded celebrities who have claimed for the last 3 elections in a row that they're going to move out if Trump wins?
Football's fascism anyway.
Conservative coded. There's no way around it. It doesn't matter how much they put racism in the end zone or the players wear pink shoes to like fight breast cancer and all these things.
You also use a word near and dear to the heart of this bastard over here. Fascist and fascism.
There's like a very famous essay by this writer, art critic Dave Hickey.
Yeah, great.
The Heresy of Zone Defense. His main point is that Any rules or even guidelines for a sport should always be built in to give the individuals freedom. We're watching the players, so we want to see them have agency. We want them to have autonomy. We look at basketball and we go, like, it should be like jazz. It should be free. And it kind of almost gives this message that that's what we want. And football is the exact opposite of that. And the very controlled nature of football, it actually shuns individuality.
Everybody plays in a system. The system is designed to control a lot of the players or
systemic system.
Yes.
Bring the chain out. Everything is so exact and measured.
Version of fascism embedded in football. It works in football. Just the idea that plays are sent in via radio, in from the sideline, down from the press box. It is the most sort of corporate hierarchical world, which when you say it like that seems really negative, but it is what makes the game the thing that allowed it to become this dominant thing. It's like football for all these contradictory reasons, things that actually seem like they should be detriments to the explanation of what it is, work to the game's benefit.
Yeah, that's because hierarchy, like,
Thanks, Marxist analysisters.
yeah, it is at its core. Okay, so is the Marxist definition of fascism just any hierarchy at all?
Yes.
Because he just explained hierarchy. You got the player on the field, but
Yeah, it
he's
really
taking
is.
direction from the quarterback, and the quarterback's taking direction from the coach, and the coach is taking direction from the owner of the team, and they all have these corporate overlords. They're like, yeah, it's a hierarchy, and it fucking works.
Yeah, and you really can just boil it down to that. Yeah, we've got to abolish all hierarchies. I mean, it can just be that single sentence.
Well, that was sort of the brilliance that I don't know. I like it's the whole Jordan Peterson thing. I like his first rule more and more the more I hear about it, because it's just so the first rule in his 12 rules for life is stand up straight with your shoulders back. But the entire point of it is to tell you that hierarchies are ancient and that they're not bad just because they're hierarchies. There can be corrupted, shitty hierarchies, but they exist in lobsters. That's where the name comes from, the Latter-day Lobsters. Hierarchies have existed forever in different species, and he uses lobsters because they're a very, very old species.
Yeah. Julius Evola, if you've heard the name, kind of one of those persons thrown around as like one of those mystic, real fascism has never been tried guys. He gets tossed around by academic agent and these different woke right guys or whatever they call it. But I mean, academic agent, the guy's going like full flip into like, I'm with the commies now because I can't take this right-wing slop anymore type stuff. But he loves Julius Evola, and Julius Evola is this guy who totally mystic stuff, but his real fascism has never been tried. Is just 100%. It is communism, but we have the hierarchies. So everybody gets paid the same, but we have kings and street cleaners and paupers, and you get assigned your part in the hierarchy.
I mean, it would work better than the communism that these retards are talking about, I guess.
You know where you can see it?
Where?
Star Trek.
Yeah, you're right. Does Captain Kirk get paid as much as Spock?
It's communism, man. They all get the same, man.
So it's communism with hierarchies? Okay. Well,
yeah, they're all the same, but there's a hierarchy.
You just gotta make sure your Captain Kirk is okay with that.
Yeah, I guess so.
You have to pick. That would work if you could 100% of the time choose a Captain Kirk who is totally in this for the team, who is totally in this because, like, it's not about the money. I'm totally okay that I have way more responsibility than McCoy, but we get paid the same.
Watch this. Razorfish showed like a gag. This was 20 years ago. A gag on the Jamie Kennedy show. Have you followed Jamie Kennedy lately? He's gone all super based.
I have not.
Yeah, Jamie Kennedy. It would totally shock you. But he had this 20 years ago where he was brought in to pitch bad ideas in a Star Trek meeting of a bunch of Star Trek people.
No, what I do, seriously. It's an open discussion, and I'm
Okay,
sorry.
I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Like the first series, forget that. Throw that in the Star Bitch. You know what I'm saying? And what you should do is you need to get in touch with the younger demographic. to high school. Okay, so it's like Star Trek High.
This isn't the WB. I mean,
No, who watches that?
Not me.
Yeah, no one does. Especially on Thursday. Wesley Crusher, he gets zits.
No makeup?
No makeup. He looks great.
No, I like this idea of a younger demographic being pulled in.
Well, they had originally, there was an
I don't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. Can you come with me for a sec? I want to just quick come with me, Leon. Just you guys keep talking. I just want to.
Come on, dude, don't pull me out of here.
No, I'm not. No, I want to run this thing. Matt. Come here for a second.
That is the worst idea for a Star Trek show that I have ever heard in my entire life.
He's literally pitching Star
Okay, so
Trek
hang
for like
on.
the past 5 years.
Well, he's especially predicting Starfleet Academy, but
Mhm.
hey, so these other guys are not in on it, right? Like this is actually
they're getting gagged by the main dude who pulled him out, and Jamie are pulling the legs of these other guys.
dude. This bald dude is like he's fucking. He should be our president. He just immediately, guys. That sounds so bad.
I mean, it's so bogus. I mean, are you guys? I mean, am I right? Is that?
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yes.
All right, so I'll call back. Hey,
What's up, Jack?
well, I think that he had a really great idea. I think for
That's a horrible idea. High school?
I like Leon's idea so much that I called Rick Berman.
Just so you know, Rick Berman is the executive producer of the entire Star Trek franchise, and he's a god to these guys.
What you
And Rick Berman loved the idea, and he's talking to Leon about this right now because,
In my personal opinion, that guy's crazy.
I think
he had
He's
some
mentally
facts,
unstable.
He had some facts wrong, but
Wrong?
he did.
Wrong?
You called him a gay horse, for God's sake.
No. Welcome back. Clearly, there's something there. I think there's something to this idea.
The idea sucks.
He actually said on the phone was saying how he thought you would be great as the principal on the show.
That's actually kind of interesting.
Oh, come on! I was on your team, buddy.
That's what I'm saying. We can always use it as a gay character. That would be great. Dude, the Millennium Falcon is never going to be the same.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
Yeah. Just and then it just happened. And then it just happened.
I know you couldn't get any. I mean, the only way you can get closer to Starfleet Academy is by talking about racial diversity and body positivity.
Yeah. So Jonathan gave us a second beautiful trouble about marriage, and maybe marriage isn't oppressive after you've deconstructed everything. Maybe it's been a good thing. Maybe it's a. Is that what that whole entire thing says summed up? If you remember it,
I don't remember it. Do you want me to read it? I can't.
I don't know if we did it. Well, yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
So the church does the whole benevolent sexism thing by telling women that they are divine, and that their innate spiritual character makes them naturally inclined to take on motherhood as their defining role, and that is the highest good they can do in their life. That is such a small box to put women in, though. To be burdened by the obligations of marriage, motherhood, and family is just a new form of slavery. At least that's what some people think. The church tells women that they will get the highest form of fulfillment in their lives, have the greatest sense of purpose and happiness through the experience of motherhood with all of its ups and downs. It tells men the same. It's going to piss people off. From the perspective of the father, it does this all on the strength of religious claims, though. If the religious claims are false, does that mean that the experience of motherhood and or fatherhood do not actually constitute a positive in human existence that could at least be conveyed as one of the greatest chances that men and women can have at a life filled with joy and purpose? It doesn't mean that you have to convey that this is the only pathway, but it very well may be the most likely pathway to a fulfilled life. Is it wrong to still center the most likely path toward human fulfillment and certainly still allow the freedom to choose any other path, but reinforce that there is a greater chance at happiness in life by choosing to venerate and aspire toward marriage, parenthood, monogamy, and fidelity? There are some women in their older years who choose to go their own way apart from pursuing these things, who now feel like the radical feminists who radical feminist. Don't say radical feminist, John. Don't say radical feminist. That's so the feminism is a radical idea that men and women is equal. Okay, fucking
You think
Christ,
you got that response? You didn't get that response. I didn't.
there's no fucking way. Yeah, I hope you had some thinking women in there to set you straight, you son of a bitch. Who planted these anti-marriage and anti-natal ideas in their heads on the foundation of personal liberation may have robbed them of a deeper human experience. What are your thoughts?
What do those little pictures say? Like the
I can
heart
read
of
that.
women's oppression is her child rearing and
childbearing rules.
Childbearing rule.
Yeah, I can't read the rest of them.
I don't know if Jonathan made those. I married young 20 years ago. Oops. And
oops.
She said this. Perhaps I wouldn't have married so young if I'd been told different stories about the violence of childbirth. What if instead of holiness, I mean, she didn't have consent.
Yeah, dude, weren't you shocked when you read this? Like, were you just shocked to find out that childbirth is difficult and it hurts?
No informed consent there. Yeah, nobody ever heard about that ever. As
like I was informed that it was about as difficult as taking a hearty dump. You know, I had no clue that it hurt to do it.
Yeah. I had been told stories about the blood and tearing flesh of motherhood. Maybe I could have made a more informed decision, or at least maybe what happened to my body for the sake of motherhood would have felt more consensual. We don't need to read all this one, but of course he gets a long-winded response there. I don't agree. You're wrong in assuming women are radical feminists. That's going to say the line. The whole idea of feminism is not to deny female roles, but to choose without being pressured. In general, men in the church, even ex-women, need to stop evaluating men's roles.
This is Simone de Beauvoir in training right here. This is like Simone de Beauvoir was maybe a little bit reasonable, and then she met early Jonathan, who was like, we don't have to force women to do this, but we should probably tell them that most women really like it. And she's like, actually, we can't tell them that. In fact, we can't even encourage equally that career and motherhood should be both equal options because too many women would choose it. Fuck that lady. What a terrible bitch. How many women do you think are miserable because of the advice of that stupid, wretched bitch?
Yeah. Feminism is not a bad word. It means equal rights. Oh, you called it. Down at the bottom, and that's a different person.
I'm angry. I was raised Mormon and told I should center my life around others. Men aren't told this in Mormon. Shut up! Shut up!
Just this morning, I got to hang out with 5 of my buddies from high school. Me and Kevin went to breakfast with them, and all of them did was talk about their kids and their families the whole time, and how they've just been doing nothing but bust. And at the end of it, one of the guys started talking to us about how, you want to know what I did recently? Did you know that you could just like sometimes buy stuff that used to make you happy? And like, this is literally what he said. I was like what? It's like baseball cards. Just sometimes I just go and get myself some baseball cards and just open them because I'll be like, I'm older now. I have my money. I can buy something for me.
That's Morgan's better at this than I am. We recently got her a PC and it's like way better than mine because I've had the same Frankenstein PC that I've put parts in to make barely function for the last 15 years. My friends gave it to me right after my mission. I was very grateful for it. But like we bought her a new one because she's like, you know what? I've had laptops and they don't last very long. The PC will last me a long time. I was like, it's a good idea. Let's do it. So we bought her a PC. It's really nice. It plays way nicer games than mine can. It like you just push the button and it turns on like right away. It's amazing. I've never had one like that. It's like, oh man, I wish I could justify getting one for me. And she's like, oh, we can, like we could get you one of those. It's all right. And I'm like, oh yeah, I've been taught to center everyone else but me, which by the way, that's a good thing. I was taught. It's actually correct that I was taught to center my kids over myself. Are you kidding me? Like, you want me to like, oh yeah, my kids need new shoes, but I really want a new gaming PC.
All 5 of these guys sitting right there, these are my buddies, and these were a couple of them were hardcore athletes and all that stuff. And all they've been doing since the mission, we're all like, we're going to go on a mission. We're going to all come back. We're going to hang. We're going to be able to. Nope. They were all married within a year. And I was the last one to go out because I was a youngster. So by the time I got back, they were all, hey, we were going to hang out. Oh, sorry, we're already engaged. And since then, I've seen them all a couple times because they devote every second of their time to their wives and kids. And every couple years, we can have a breakfast together. And they talk about, I bought myself some baseball cards today. And no, they're not pushing their women around at all. Not one of them. And this is 98% of every one of the Mormon guys from the center of Salt Lake City that I knew in my life. And we sat and talked, and they told me about, oh, yeah, this guy. Oh, yeah, this guy. Because we all know different people from high school still. And all of everybody they talked about are doing the same thing, just marching along, taking care of families all day, every day.
Oh, yeah. That's what you do.
Oh, and they got to choose their careers and have their exciting careers. Out of all the guys, I had two friends who made it to the NBA, but that was even short-lived, and they didn't stay there long enough to make super gazillions, so they went back to work too. Every single one of those guys, nobody's like living their dream. There's like no one of them who's like, the thing I get up and do every single day in the morning is paint my Picasso paintings, which was what my heart always. They're all doing a grind. Every one of them is doing a grind.
Well,
every one of them.
If I could choose between one of these two options, doing what I do now, forwarding my career and trying to make more money, or have that amount of money provided for me and every single day stay at home with my kids, what do you think I would choose? Which one of those options sounds better? Like, I got a good job. I really do. I'm very grateful for it. And it's pretty easy and it pays pretty well, but like, I don't know. Give me a 10% pay. Like, say we're going to cut your pay by 10%, but you get to stay home all the time and hang out with your kids. I wouldn't even think about it. Are you kidding me? That would be awesome. I love every second of hanging out with my kids. I love love is a strong word, but let's use it anyway. I love maybe 2% of the time that I'm at my job. And that's just when we're telling funny stories. It's got nothing to do with the fucking job.
Yeah, I mean, I can tolerate it well enough and all that sort of stuff. But at the same time, you know, it's one of Peterson's points. Well, you can't. Well, Peterson, he said some other stuff that the church stuff might be true. So he's an idiot. No, Peterson has made the point since forever. It is a vanishing small percentage of people who think they have the greatest, bestest career that is just fulfilling because that's the thing they want to get up and do in the day every single day.
No, that's the funny part is I would say my career is in the top like 0.5% of satisfaction to easiness to pay ratios of humans that have ever existed in the world. I am well above kings that have existed like hundreds of years before me. I understand that. And no, it's not like if I didn't get paid, there's no fucking way I would do it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No.
Obviously.
Very, very few people out there doing the thing that they would do I'm doing the things that I do if I don't get paid after work. And I wish they ever took off. I like threw my heart into them or tried to do it, but it didn't pan out. But you want to know what? I have a decent job because from a kid, I was like, those are long shots. I'll try my best, but you know what? And you want to know what? All the different women, you could do the same thing and throw away your chance at having a kid, and that could slip away from you.
Daniel Tosh has this great joke in one of his specials where he's talking about technical high schools, and he's like, technical high schools are the place where dreams are narrowed down.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you know, I kind of like that, actually. Like, he's trying to make it sound depressing in his snarky dickhead sort of way, but I don't know. That's totally fine. I am my job. I am eternally grateful for, and there's zero passion for this job. Like I don't. It's
me too. There's a quote of mine on The Office. Somebody asks what's his name on The Office, the HR dude.
Toby.
Kobe. He's just like, no, I wouldn't say I have a passion for HR. You know, like there's even like a meme of it. You know what I mean? But if I did, I'd be bad at it. If you have somebody who has a passion for HR, they're bad at it because they're a person who just goes and screws up the world. That's what they do if they have a passion for it.
That's what I say about my job too. I'm like, I don't have a passion for this job, but I am very extremely grateful for it. And those who do have a passion for, I look down on them. Maybe I shouldn't, because maybe they're just having such a good time at work, and maybe I'd be better off if I had just the greatest time going. I'm gonna go to work and I'm gonna find some contamination.
I get some satisfaction out of like solving some issues for people here, or helping in certain situations, or even taking care of a fire or something like that.
Well, there's little blips of satisfaction,
but that's a different
job.
type. Yeah, it's not like boy, this is a fun, and those are even kind of few and far between when you're like, I really felt in that situation, I made something better for somebody. But in most cases, if you're a person in HR who has a passion for it, that means you're a busybody who's making everything worse for everybody else.
Oh, for
9
sure.
times out of 10, you know.
Yeah.
Let's see right
But
here.
my kids, oh boy, do I have a passion for hanging out with them. Like tomorrow, I don't know, in the afternoon at some point, me and my wife and my 2 older sons are gonna sit there and play Minecraft together and try to get to the Ender Dragon, and it's gonna be the best day of my life again. Like I get the option. When you have a family, when you have a wife and kids, you get the option to choose to have the best day of your life any day that you want. Weekends more than weekdays, but like that's the part I look forward to. Like, obviously Morgan's with the kids all day and it's a pain in the ass being the only one with the kids. So by the end of the day, she's like, oh my God, give me a break. But the thing is, I'm usually pretty happy to give her a break because all I want when I come home is to see my boys. I just hug my fat little baby and I come downstairs and my 2 older boys are hanging out and they're telling me all about their day. And that's just the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, you shared this video earlier of a.
And I come home and she never fails me. My little angel is there waiting for me before I even have a chance to pull in to the garage. I want to show you guys this.
You said at the start he works 55 hours a week.
Yeah. I didn't send this, but I think I've seen it before.
I thought you sent it.
No.
As soon as she hears that garage door open, you guys see that? That's the reason why I don't give up. That I can't give up. Because I have people who love me and who care about me. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't mean to do that. Look at that. This is what I come home to every single day.
And that's the patriarchy that women are complaining to every single day. Who did send that one? But yeah, Jonathan,
you got a dude sobbing about his daughter.
Yeah, but Jonathan got corrected by the science.
Do you know what the data says about marriage, monogamy, and having children in regards to happiness and fulfillment? Because it shows that marriages only benefit men and actually harm women. The parenthood decreases happiness for real. And do you think monogamy is natural? Hominids did not start with monogamy and only became monogamous
Roughly 3.5 million years ago. Oh, is that it? We've only been doing it for most of our existence. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, I feel like an idiot.
I think monogamy and infidelity are preferably Monogamy and fidelity are preferences, so you have to find a partner that values those too. But no one knows the right or best way to be human and live life.
Those articles, I've read those dumb studies before. They're the dumbest thing in the world. They talk about like the way people describe what it's like when they're dealing with like running around chasing little kids, and then like later questioning to the same people, it says they absolutely are happier having gone through like the hell of like the initial
without even reading the studies. Like I've seen feminists constantly proclaim that married men live longer and married women live shorter lives than their single counterparts, right? And it's usually it's only by about like 4 or 5 years. And it's first off, the men part of that is pretty obvious why. This is Scott Adams. I could save you a lot of money and explain. Of course, married men live longer because once you get married, you do less stupid shit. Dude, I used to dream of being like a skydive instructor, of doing wingsuit dives, of doing all these insane stunts, which would have put me in the category of people that probably die in their late 40s, early 50s at best, you know? And now, if you offered me a ticket to skydive free, if you paid me $600 to skydive right now, I wouldn't do it. And it's not because I don't want to. I really, really want to. But I'm like, if something goes wrong, I can't do it. And so, and I don't know what the women equation is, like why, if assuming the feminists are accurate, assuming that women who are married live shorter lives by like 4 or 5 years than women who are not married. But if I asked Morgan, like, okay, you can live an extra 4 years, but you don't have your sons, what do you choose? She'd be like, fuck you. Why are you asking me this? What are you talking about?
But it's in the way that those things are framed. Like it's framed
I
like
understand
were things harder when your kids were first born? Oh yeah, it's way harder. Yeah, it's way harder.
Yeah, no shit.
That sort of stuff. And it's kind of like AJ, Actual Justice Warrior, always talks about how like Kyle Kalinske and those guys talk about all people. If you poll people, they want all these things like free benefits and free healthcare, and it's always in these polls of like, would you like free healthcare? Yes. And then it changes when you start asking people at the expense of this amount of taxes.
I know.
Oh, no, you can frame anything with these stupid studies.
Yeah, the question is always this sort of cosmetic or cosmic solution, not cosmetic. Yeah. And I'm like, if you asked me, would you like cosmically free healthcare? I'd be like, well, duh. Like, what are you saying? Jesus is going to come down and just dole out healthcare? Yeah, of course I would like that. It's exact same as the communists talking about how Jesus gave all of the people on the mountain fish and wine. He multiplied it. It's like, yeah, he had superpowers, you dumbass.
He had a Star Trek.
Communism works great if you have a superbly benevolent leader who also has superpowers. Of course it'll work. What are you talking about?
That Julius Evel of fascism with the hierarchy with all equals. But this is all just data over dogma. Do you see this data over dogma with blue nail polish? Data over dogma.
Oh my God, it's purple nail polish.
You wear purple nail polish like the person down there. I think he calls it plum.
Linguist here. That's actually not technically purple. Oh my God. He actually has painted nails? You know what it is he's trying to prove that he's a girl dad. Because like when you see a guy that
you see guys' nails, it's because their daughter painted it.
Yeah, if you see a guy that's got like he's working on a construction crew and he's got like haphazardly, weirdly and incongruently painted nails, it's because my daughter wanted to do a makeover and I just can't say no to her, and it's a cute thing.
Speaking of painted nails,
McClellan
that's not
painted
why
those.
Washburn painted his nails. Yeah, look, because usually if like you see a guy with painted nails like that, it's one or two of the nails are painted that the girl did not.
Yeah, well, and they're different.
They're
colors
different.
that don't match at all.
Things.
Yeah, And Jackson Washburn, he paints his nails because he's fucking gay.
I'm not gonna read this whole thing because I got to get out of here. The dog,
Blurb.
I cannot believe the way the dog times us. Like he knows right when 3 hours is, and he starts jumping on me. But yeah, he proposed that the church picks up anti-racism just as soon as Kendeism has been completely abolished and delegitimized in all the universities and removed from the University of Boston and all that stuff. And people, now let's add in the anti-racism, Jackson Washburn. But this is just 3 more people commenting, and one person just kind of saying to Jonathan, hey, I actually appreciate what you're saying, and I realize that it is actually true when I go to parts of the world where there's way less kids and notice that the people don't feel the same. And oh my gosh, well, Jonathan wasn't saying you have to be a Mormon church face now. He's just saying, hey, maybe there was something about this that worked, and maybe it worked despite the Mormon church, but it's that thing that worked. The being kid focused, traditional in your marriage, traditional in having kids, having family. Maybe it was the thing that worked, and maybe you shouldn't toss out all the things just because you deconstructed all the things.
And then the second commenter starts off with
our favorite, our Dan.
Yeah, it's my catchphrase of anytime somebody wants me to quickly define postmodernism.
Yeah.
Who's to say?
Yeah, just said the exact word there. Yeah. Who's to say which is the best path? Married?
I am, bitch.
Children or no children, working or not working, good combination. Those things. Like, who's to say that if we all just stopped having children and died off, that's not
okay? But
that's just the universe ending anyway.
All right. You
say humans are supposed to continue.
Okay, but you use deconstruction to come to that conclusion. So let me use deconstruction to deconstruct your conclusion. Who's to say which is the best path? Addict or non-addict, gambler or non-gambler,
who's to
child
say?
Abuser or non-child abuser.
Who's to say what the right way of living is?
I'm deconstructing your shit. Who's to say which is better? Beating the shit out of your 8-year-old son because he spilled milk, or telling him, hey, buddy, it's okay. You just spilled some milk. It's not a big deal. Who's to say?
No, deconstruction for thee, not for me. Deconstruction for thee, not for me.
No, fuck you. I just deconstructed your shit, bitch.
No, deconstruction for thee, not for me. Anyway, ending off on a comic Steven sent us because it's gonna happen if we go outside. Look, kid, I know that, but I ain't the one you got to worry about. There's a delegation of the ladies of Cookie Society up in arms outside.
Oh no. I love Steve's out of context.
Yeah, but that one felt right in context as Jonathan and ruffled up all the feathers about being married and having kids and not transing them. Mormon stories. Jonathan Streeter is a pariah for saying it's good to be married and monogamous and have kids and not trans them.
Well, and we should say that
that's out. That's just way off the. What's the phrase? Like that's off the reservation.
Off the reservation.
Oh, I can't say that. I said, oh no, I'm canceled.
Well, and we should say like
he's actually just saying you should Mormon again. No,
so Jonathan
is saying try monogamy, try having kids, things that are 3.5 million years old. You know?
I'm saying you should Mormon again. I'm unapologetically saying.
If you can't understand that he's saying that, you should Mormon again.
And we should say, like, Jonathan is definitely less snarky than the rest of us, and his snark is usually a lot more subtle and intelligent and well thought out. Because I just like vomit onto the keyboard, but he also even with his level of snark, he would have been booted if he didn't have his level of clout in the ex-Mormon community, because they understood his critiques of Mormonism. His critiques were great. They were very well thought out, just like his critiques of ex-Mormonism at this point. And so they loved him, and he sounds very sciencey, and because he is, and now that he's sounding very sciencey, but he's going against the dogma the data.
He's dogmatically talking about. They were bragging about how Oak said something about science and religion can be, and they went off forever. And we're way more science. And Kobe's like, I named my dog Darwin. Oh yeah.
Oh
So
my-
we're all really
oh
into
my
that stuff. Huh?
God.
We're committing a naturalistic fallacy here and
Did
saying
he say that?
we are beings that have evolved into this thing that thrives better under monogamy, takes care of its offspring better off of monogamy. That offspring does better and thrives when it's not transed. That's all just right square committing the naturalistic fallacy. We're just talking about what you're probably evolutionarily designed to be, to have a happier life. Just going with what your biology always was. You know?
Oh, sweet Lord.
And maybe it was God.
Man,
But even if
yeah.
it wasn't God and it's just evolution, it's there too. And that's what Jonathan's pointing out to you. Doesn't have to be Mormonism. Pariah, burn the witch.
I mean, I had this long discussion with like my best friend the other day, and he was talking about like he wants to he like tentatively wants to call himself Christian, but he hates the term because it comes with the whole religion thing. He loves the stories of Christ, blah blah blah. And he's like, I don't think I'll ever find I don't think I'll ever find a church that totally works or that's totally true. And I was like, yeah, I don't think so either. Because I look at it purely pragmatically, and I'm like, if you want a church, what you're looking for is not a church that's totally true or totally works. You're looking for a church that's mostly true and mostly works. You know, because that's what I say about Mormonism is that it mostly works. You know, it's got some things I wish it would change, and it's changed some of those things over the years. It's gotten a lot better at them. Like, yeah, it mostly works evolutionarily and effectively. So, if I'm gonna go to a church, it's probably gonna be a Mormon church, partially because it mostly works, and partially because, you know, the community I live in is mostly Mormon.
Yeah. Talking about that, the pragmatism of all this, which is also the argument from consequences, all the fallacies we're committing, the naturalistic argument from consequences, all those sort of stuff. Jumping all the way back to what Paglia says, it's not just you and your individual happiness in the life. It's also what's happening to the civilization. Like we stop and say, well, let's all just focus on ourselves and it'll just be fine. We can do the lives we want to do and not have kids and just do all the stuff and get cubicle jobs instead. And then that civilization just declines and collapses. It's a bigger organism too than just your individual happiness, which has been a point I've always been barking about. But whatever, we can just do what we want. Who's to say? It's a bright new future out there.
Yay!
Anyway, I gotta go walk the doggy.
I gotta go play a dumb video game until I fall asleep.
Sorry for arguing for Dogma over Data so hard every single.
Yeah, we're huge fans of Dogma, you faggot. Jesus Christ. I shouldn't call him that because he painted his nails purple.
Yeah.
How long till McClellan reveals his open marriage?
I think he's kind of more in the realm of luxury belief.
No, he is.
He does all the traditional things while advocating for everybody else doing destructive things, luxury beliefs.
Yeah, no, I bet he's a great
Like
guy.
like John DeLynn, like
Yeah, I bet John DeLynn.
Julie Hanks. Like, yeah.
John DeLynn would have been a great stake president.
Yeah. And he lives the trad life, and that's what brings him most happiness. Brought him all the happiness. But advocates for you to try something else.
Those are some wildly luxurious beliefs you have there, friend.
Yep. All right. I got to go run or I will be protested by these protesters down here.
Now I'm going to snuck you in like you do to Flip.
I've got a dark invader down there protesting me wanting.
All right. Well, enjoy.
All righty. Have fun.
See ya.
Later.